That's right, it's Twofold Tuesday again. Happy Tuesday. It's been a weird, one. But, hey. What we really need is some normalcy. Blink. 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 Tip. Click to rename the... Whoa! Oh, how am I only just noticing this? So common route has a little olive icon on the save. And Millie! Millie, look at her! Look at her! Millie saves! Millie saves! Yeah! That's a really cool feature! It's Tuesday, isn't it? Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday! Oh, the little cute Millie icon! I love that. That's precious. Oh, man. So let's catch up. I've never put so much stock in possessions. A couple of plants to care for is just about the only luxury I've got going for me. As my aging bike grinds and creaks out of the school gate, however, I realize I might be taking my frugality too far. I need to pick up some grease for this thing sometime, instead of just hoping it'll keep going. Turning into the street, I notice the old trolley slowly rattling onwards from its stop beside the campus. Might want to try and keep up with it as best I can, but I don't want to risk the bike being how it is. The platform lies empty of students, except a lone woman leaning on a light pole and listening to music. I'm slow to stop as our eyes meet. I idled up beside her and put a foot on the ground to steady myself.
Mr. Trolley?
Hey! Try as I might, it's hard to read anything in her placid face.
Something like that.
How's it going, Haley? Everything she says has an air of aloofness to it. Maybe I should find that snooty or arrogant, but I think that's just how she is, rather than anything intentional. She's just vibes. Haley visibly thinks to herself for a moment, rubbing the back of her neck. Finally coming to some sort of decision, she takes off her headphones and addresses me properly.
Hey, how far is your place from here?
What?
Not too far. Close enough to bike, at least.
Sounds good.
Huh?
Huh? She tilts her head back, like the answer should be obvious.
You can visit if you want, but I have work in a couple hours.
That's fine.
Well, glad that's been mutually decided, at least. With that, I start for home, Haley trailing along beside me. We have picked up a straggler. Hey. After leaning my bike against the wall, I follow Haley in and close the door behind me. She has the look of a tourist, eyes darting from one area to another.
I didn't know anyone was coming, so it's a bit shabby. Don't get many visitors, really.
I was actually thinking how clean everything is.
I mean, compared to our visit to your place, your and Millie's and Caprice's place, Damn, you live like this? Damn, you live like this, she says, looking at how clean everything is. Peeking through her normally enigmatic persona is an air of disbelief. I'm a bit mystified until I remember how their apartment was. And that was when they knew I was coming over. It's funny you say that, Doc. It's the positive spin on that meme. Damn, you live like this? Endearing. I'm impressed. At least she's talking now. The ride here in total silence was one of the most strained experiences I've ever had. Something's eating at her. Even I can tell that much by this point. Before I work out how to fill the air between us, Haley's eyes fall on the old console sitting under my even older television. She pushes her chin out toward it, a rare glimmer of interest sparkling in her eyes.
That old thing still work?
Damn, it's possible to live like this? I know, right?
Who knows? You can try if you want. I don't get much use out of it.
Let's fire it up. I want to talk to her about where this all came from, but the timing never quite seems to feel right. Haley picks up a controller as I fiddle about with a modest pile of games. nodding to the first I hold up before I put it in. A fighting game I've tried a couple of times. No sooner do I take a seat beside her and start up a match than am I put on the back foot. She pushes me to the edge of the map before juggling me into the air and comboing me over and over. Oh, man. Her work done as the round is called, she slumps back into the cushions. I manage to do a bit of damage, but it's already clear that I don't have a chance of winning any further rounds. Well, if nothing else, at least this is a welcome distraction from studies and work. We start another round. I try my best, but this round goes about as well as the last. Pro gamer! Gamer girl Haley! Hell yeah. With the match finally over and Haley easing off the controller, I get a chance to address the elephant in the room.
So, anything on your mind?
Just tired. Not with school or anything, just those two.
Are things really that bad?
I was about to go home on the trolley, but when the doors opened, I just...
You know what? I feel you. I feel you there. Real shit, the biggest struggle with playing competitive game on a date, etc. Which are way better and you have to make it fun for the both of you. It's, oh no. It's suffer. It's suffering. But honestly, Haley, I feel that. You open the doors open, you realize what you're going home to, what you're going into, and you just can't. Haley trails off, unsure of how to explain herself, or rather, stopping herself from doing so. She puts the controller down and sighs.
Maybe I should just live alone like you. Nice and quiet here.
You don't sound super convincing.
You got me.
Oh. She leans back into the couch. I'm not sure if that signifies a pause or an end to the conversation.
I guess I just forgot how much I missed having a normal life with those two till you came around.
Oh?
Me?
Hello, twin. How's it going?
You coming over for lunch the other day was the first time in forever that apartment felt... ordinary.
So this has been going on for a while, then.
It's rare to see Millie that open and talkative at home. It was nice.
Oh. I can almost make out the corners of her lips curl up into a smile, with her back to a frown before they get all the way there.
And then Caprice came home and got in Millie's face about the wine she left on the counter.
Oh no. She sits there, staring into space as she recounts how the day ended. As she finishes the thought, her eyes meet mine and she corrects her posture as if just remembering that I was there.
Sorry for making this weird.
Yeah, this is the point that we were very concerned about last time. Millie found out that everyone was bailing on the next club meeting, and then her immediate reaction was to break out a bottle of wine to de-stress. That is a concerning habit.
You're good.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We got you. She's quick to break eye contact soon after my response, retreating back to her thoughts.
You should have seen them before all this. You barely recognized them.
That's the impression I get, yeah.
She thinks a little, hesitating a moment before taking her phone from her pocket. I'm left to wait as she pokes at it. She taps at the screen, then shows it to me.
What's this?
Oh!
A photo from about a year back, with Millie and Caprice. I've held on to it ever since.
I wonder if this is from First Snow. A group of friends crammed into a tiny room. Recognize the others as the art club members, but Caprice and Millie definitely steal my attention away, both smiling wide.
It was their first college party together. I wasn't actually there, but they both lit right up while telling me about it. They told me all about the new friends they were making, the art club that Caprice made, how Millie was going to lead the big writing club soon and do all sorts of stuff with them.
So where'd it go wrong?
They had everything lined up for the future and were excited to get to it. It was easy to get caught up with their energy at the time.
She thinks on her words before abruptly locking her phone and slipping it back into her pocket. I don't think I've ever seen Haley rattled like that before. Passing car on the street only highlights the sudden quiet.
I guess it didn't really turn out like that. Sorry again. I didn't mean to come over here and dump this all on you.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
No, really, it's fine. I can't even begin to imagine what things must be like at your place nowadays.
Clearly you're stuck in the middle here, and you don't really have anywhere else to let all this out, so...
I'm surprised someone like you would be friends with two people who are so outgoing. Not that I mean that in a bad way, I
get what you mean. We met in high school. Well, more like they found me during high school.
You make it sound like they picked up a stray cat.
I could see that being accurate.
That's basically how it went. The two of them were practically inseparable. Picked up a new friend to share.
Oh.
Back when they were so gung-ho about their clubs, part of me was happy that they'd found friends who could keep up with them, who wouldn't be holding them back.
Oh.
You and me might be in the same boat. I really admire Millie's passion, but I get tired just thinking about keeping pace with her sometimes.
There it is again. It's only slight, but that tug at the corner of her mouth shows she's feeling the same thing I am. A slight sense of camaraderie in our shared situation, dealing with two impossible people. With that, Haley picks herself up off the couch and takes a long stretch.
Thanks for letting me come over. I'd better let you get to work.
Sure. You gonna be okay getting back?
Yeah, the walk could be worse. I could do with the exercise anyway.
That's not what I meant.
It'll be fine. I just needed a break.
It's all good. Headphones on. As she walks over to make her leave, Haley stops and looks back at me from the half-open door.
Oh, an Olive.
Yeah?
Thanks again for coming over the other day.
Oh.
No problem. Hopefully we can get Caprice around next time.
Yeah. Hopefully. Catch you.
Yeah, catch you.
Gotcha. He strides out the door and shuts it behind her. With my guest gone and work imminent, I sink further into the couch cushions for lack of anything else to do. Damn, we really are. We really are comrades in this friendship struggle. Every time it rains, there are at least a few poor souls left milling about underneath one of the campus building entrances, mourning their forgotten umbrellas or raincoats. Today, Tanya and I joined them. Tanya. The storm came quick and recently. Might have missed the rain entirely if we hadn't been hanging around at the riding club. The two of us quietly bemoan our circumstances. Millie joins us underneath the building's awning, having finished her tidying up.
All the times for the truck to be dead. I was gonna drive past the burger place on the way home, too.
Burger, 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 burger.
The place with the giant spinning hamburger on the roof. With chipped paint all over the place.
You know it. That's a sign of quality.
That's the one!
I feel like you could do a lot better for yourself.
Why do better when you can do hot and greasy?
It's cheap as dirt, though.
And cheap.
Nope, not good enough, sorry. Can't forgive any competition to our diner. Also, we have daily specials that run pretty cheap.
Okay, you got me there, Olive. Well played.
It's good that you managed to find work for yourself. The job market isn't easy these days. You're not hiring, are you?
Do you actually want to work customer service?
She gives a long sigh.
Point taken. Begrudgingly.
With Tanya stewing in her misery, I look out to the mess of a walkway in front of us, coated in mud and dead leaves.
Ugh. I'm gonna be stuck tracking mud into the apartment. Not to mention all the extra laundry I have to make time for now.
Rain's no big deal. It'll help the farmers out, given how dry it's been lately.
Yeah, that's fair. Realization strikes her as Tanya's face slowly collapses. She's normally such an easygoing person that it's rather jarring.
Something wrong?
My laundry is outside.
Oh!
In the rain.
Oh. Nice to see Kaede got work after Danganronpa V3. Yeah, honestly.
Oh, screw this. Wait, I can give you a lift in.
Before she can get the words out, Tanya tears off across the grounds with her backpack above her head, her rapid-fire swearing not quite drowned out by the rain's low rumble. I learned a surprising number of new curses before she's out of earshot. Watching her disappear out the gate and over the road, I don't think that's the kind of solution I could ever commit to.
My car.
Oof.
Wait, how did you get to...
Wait. Oh. Hang on. I skipped over a line.
You tried.
You tried.
Bike, as always.
Can I interest you in a ride?
Oh? Let's go! Oh. Exhausted from school and the rush to her car in the rain, I ended up sunken deep in the comfortable cushions of Millie's passenger seat by the time she pulled up at my place. Junebug! She's a careful driver, especially in the rain, which suits me just fine. I do my best to pat down my wet hair with a sleeve, but all I do is rearrange the mess. Millie tries the same, to even worse results as strands stick to her face.
Thanks again. I was dreading trying to get home in all this.
Considering I saw you two moping about at the entrance, it would have been mean to just leave you there.
I don't know about moping. As my hand moves to the door, the shunting sound of doors locking rings out. Eh? Pulling at the handle a couple times confirms the fact, only making me more confused.
Millie? The doors are locked.
She leans over the steering wheel with a smile on her face that's altogether too calm.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Oh?
Right now? Whether my body will ever be found.
She giggles, just audible over the noise outside. I close my eyes to resign to my fate. The inside of the car rumbling from the pounding of the rain on the roof. Water pours down the windshield, reducing the street lamps ahead to shimmering blotches of light in the darkness of night. The occasional car shoots by, only to disappear as soon as it arrives.
One more try, Olive.
Uh-oh. She's got that. She locks the door and gives you that look.
Is this about the club?
Getting warmer.
All right. Better that than this being about Haley's visit the other day, at least. Disinterest in the craft aside, I feel like I've been a model student, which narrows it down to,
I've been asking around, I guess, about the state of things.
She stares at me, patiently waiting for me to say the words she wants to hear. After a few seconds, I gradually work out what she must be pulling me up about.
And I may have been avoiding bringing it up with you.
Her satisfied smile makes it clear that I've come to the right answer. She sure pulls off a convincing impersonation of a teacher sometimes. She really does. She really does. She's scarily good. Speaking of clubs, did you see that the next Shinogi Chess Club comes out in 2 days? Yes, I did see. It might take me a bit to get to it, but I'm very excited to see that come out.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
How did you end up hearing about this?
People will tell you all sorts of things beyond what they're asked. I just struck up a conversation with them about you.
About
You'll
me?
be pleased to know that
Oh, no.
I'm quite opinionated on the subject.
Her smile doesn't waver as she delivers that line, which twists my stomach in a knot more than it should.
Look, I'm sorry for not talking to you directly, but I only avoided you because the club, well,
You know.
Is on its last legs?
that's one way of putting it, yeah.
I might try to be optimistic, but that doesn't mean I'm blind. You don't need to tiptoe around me like I'm a child. One thing still escapes me, though. Why bother in the first place?
It's entirely selfish, really. I was worried that if it fell apart, you wouldn't have a reason to tutor me anymore. I'm sorry. I have a lot riding on this.
It's the truth, and it makes perfect logical sense to me, but only seems to leave Millie more confused.
Did I say something wrong?
I've never seen that in a person before. So much effort put into convincing yourself you're not a good person.
Oh,
I promise to help you, with or without the writing club. Please don't call it selfish. Next time, just ask.
the baffling sense of faith written on her face almost makes me embarrassed. I don't think I'm wrong, but arguing that I'm not as good a person as she thinks feels like a strange hill to die on. The sharp shunt of the doors unlocking reverberates through the car, breaking me from my thoughts. The council has judged you as good, Olive. You may leave.
Sorry for putting you through this. I don't often get the chance to talk with you alone these days.
Oh,
You're not mad at me?
Why would I be mad at you? All I wanted to know was what's going on. To be honest, I was a little worried you were thinking of quitting too.
oh.
I wasn't... Sorry. Lesson learned. I'll keep you in the loop with this sort of thing. In future. See you tomorrow, Millie. Oh, and next time you drive me somewhere, could you keep the doors unlocked?
Jeannie, hello. She just smiles as I step out into the rain and shut the door behind me. The hazards flashing away in the night as I jog inside. Congrats, Olive. You're not going to disappear. Yes. Olive has been judged worthy. Is allowed to leave. Oh. Hang on. I think there's a, yeah, there's a rollback option. I accidentally unselected it. Oh, I don't want to do that. Never mind. Keep accidentally skipping ahead occasionally. Stepping inside, I shut the door and take a long, deep breath, leaning back against it. My shirt's wet, sticking to my arms and dripping water on the floor. My hair's a mess from the rain, and the water has reached my socks. Despite that, I can't seem to bring myself to care about such things. I've seen the sight ahead of me countless times before, the same old apartment, just as I left it. Rain outside pattering against the window, piercing the otherwise silent air. The broken heating, the aging television, everything the same as it ever was. Something is different, though. All this time worrying about being a burden on Millie has melted away, replaced with the feeling that we're a team. I guess I just have to live up to it then. Hey. A few days later. Oh, back at the bar. I'll pass the vibe check. They can proceed to get some rest. I was surprised to get a text from Tanya inviting me out for a trip to the bar with Millie this evening, especially given my status as a stick in the mud. Nevertheless, I was ready to validate that claim, initially rejecting the offer. Even if I didn't have plans on campus tomorrow, I had a shift this evening. Emphasis on, had, given how eager Mom was to pick it up when I offhandedly mentioned the invitation. With my plans forcefully ripped from me, I find myself sitting at the same bar we visited near the beginning of the semester. We've been here for a couple of hours, and my two drinking companions have wound down their excited conversations and have settled into a steadier, slower discussion. No doubt partially because all of us are a few glasses deep at this point.
Nice to see you guys a bit more chilled out. Everyone around school's way too wound up about exams.
Mom knows the assignment. Yes, she is all over it. Given what I've managed to pick up on lately, I don't quite think that exams are what's weighing on Millie's mind. In fact, when I look at her, it's hard to think of reasons why she wouldn't be stressed. Exams are the obvious one. Her home life is a mess given the tension with Caprice, not to mention the writing club slowly falling apart around her. I'm probably another source of worry for her too as she tries to drag me over the finishing line of exams. She sure doesn't seem to have much sense of self-preservation.
Of all the things to stress about, exams seem perfectly acceptable.
In fact, I think you should be worrying about them a little more.
Come on, you know I'll be fine. There's still a month left anyway.
Tanya's got this. A month if you round up, maybe. She might do fine with her more hands-on stuff, but her gen ed courses are another matter, from what I've heard.
Hey, what's with that face? You too, Olive?
The council is judging you, Tanya. Millie lets her friend simmer a little. Tanya gives up and orders another drink for the two of them to distract from the uncomfortable truth. What is that, 4 tonight? 5?
I expect it from Tanya, but I'm surprised to see how mellow you're being about them too, Olive.
Oh?
Once you make yourself busy enough, you don't have any time left to panic. That's my coping method anyway.
All of here is just a team. Everything is fine as the room burns around them. A lie, but worrying about it out loud would just stress Millie out more, I'm sure.
You sure you're okay balancing work, chores, and exams?
Do I have a choice?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway, you should be focusing on your own well-being instead of taking on their stress as well.
Honestly, I do worry about you, Millie.
Unless you're trying to distract yourself from your worries by worrying about someone else?
Oh?
It's nothing like that. What are you even talking about?
Tanya's got that mischievous smile. Tanya gives a knowing smirk, while all I can manage is a weak blush.
Even though I've said this a few times now, I do appreciate the effort you're putting in for me.
You still panic when you have to go to bed, though. Yeah, true, it does catch up with you. As much as you try and grin and bear it, it always catches up with you.
You'd better pass your exams, you know. I'd look really silly if I did all this, only to have you flunk out on me.
Damn straight, Olive.
Oh, well, I was considering failing, but since you're so insistent...
I'll just have to do my best.
Come on. Do we really need to talk about school while we're out drinking?
There's not much else for me to talk about right now.
I sigh into my mug, still half full.
I should get a hobby after all this is over.
I'd say cooking counts.
Barely. I wish I could be as passionate about that as you are with your writing.
I'm with you on that. You've stuck with it for a while, haven't you?
Millie looks wistfully at her glass, holding it tight in both hands.
I think everyone needs something to cherish. It doesn't need to be another person, a hobby, a cause, a life's work. It doesn't need to be grand, just something to give yourself over to. Writing, reading, the club ended up being that for me.
Remember, Millie wants to write children's books, which is honestly a really wholesome dream.
Without that, I think someone is like an empty glass. While it could be filled by others, it's nothing when by itself.
She delicately rubs the condensation on the outside of the glass with her thumbs. I can't help but go silent at her words. It's up to Tanya to break the overly serious atmosphere. Millie's glass filling with beer from Tanya's bottle.
Then you better keep your own glass full, eh?
Millie gives a weak smile and a slightly awkward sigh, coming back to her senses. I think I'm finally getting a feel for how these two ended up as friends, despite their differences. Uh-oh. Oh, night air sure has a chill to it these days. The air in front of our mouths forming small clouds as we slowly walk up the dark street. The sleeping girl on my back at least provides some warmth, Millie's arms loosely slung over my shoulders as I carry her. Oh, or at least I try to. My steps are a little uneven and I'm definitely swaying side to side, but luckily Tanya leans against me as a counterbalance. It's a small wonder this area is totally empty this time of night, giving the walk almost a surreal quality, like we're the only people left in the world.
I can't believe she managed to get herself that drunk.
You're not exactly sober yourself.
Millie's weight shifts as she starts sliding downwards, my heart jumping as I quickly pull her up again with a bit of effort.
Could you please at least try to hang on?
She snuggles into my back, possibly half asleep, maybe just out of reflex. Never thought I'd be thankful for years of building up my strength by lugging around sacks of ingredients at work.
Thanks for carrying her. She doesn't usually get this wasted. Sure you're good to get back home afterwards?
It's not that far. I'm over the worst of it anyway. Thanks for giving her a place to crash.
It's nothing new. My place is close enough to the bar that she's stayed the night more than once. She gets the couch, though. I'm not that nice of a host.
Aw.
Besides, we hang out at my place all the time. She's alright company.
As the lone car passes us in the night's darkness, I continue to plod along with the weight on my back. Millie stopped rustling about, so she's probably gone to sleep completely. The fact that she trusts me that much is a nice feeling. Oh! Everyone needs something to cherish. Even as the evening's gone on and my mind started to haze, those words have danced around in my thoughts since she said them. I know what's important to me and how important it is. For so long, looking up for Mom and doing my best not to disappoint her has been enough to keep me moving forward. Why do I keep coming back to these words, then? There's no tug at my heart, no butterflies in my stomach. Merely an itch, just below the skin, impossible to scratch. Millie slumps forward across my shoulder again, making herself just visible in the corner of my eye. Wish I could see in myself what you see in me. I've been honest about my motivations, as selfish as they may be. Yet you push on anyways. You're always there to offer up help whenever I need it, always with a smile on your face. The way you confidently assure me that there's more to it, that you're so sure I'm worth the effort despite all that. It's
More than I deserve.
Millie readjusts herself, burying her face into my neck as I realize I let the tail end of that out in the air. I can only take solace in the fact that it barely registered to her, if at all. The same can't be said of the woman walking beside me, wearing an indulgent grin as I continue to redden.
What?
That's the first time I've seen someone fall in love.
Oh, of course. If I hadn't heard that sentiment enough before, this is definitely the tipping point. I let out a sigh, deciding a proper response not worth the hassle as I reinforce my hold on Millie's arm. Our discussion comes to a halt as the both of us stop walking, both our attention taken by the sight from above. Standing in the middle of downtown as cars drive to and fro, Tanya and I quietly gaze up at the falling snow. God, that's... My heart. Next day. How we feeling? One of the worst things about living here is how quickly the weather turns. One day it's chilly outside, the next day there's snowplows clearing the roads. Even though it's not freezing just yet, it's cold enough to bundle up a bit more than usual. There's plenty of time until school starts at least. With downtown's traffic at its worst when snow's just fallen, you need to take it slow and stay vigilant. I'd rather not break something so close to exams, or worse. Then there's the hangover I'm still nursing. That doesn't help, with puffs of condensation filling the air in front of my face with every pedal stroke. The apartment building I've been looking for comes into view. Carefully looking around for traffic, I stop pedaling and let the bike cruise over to the roadside. Oh, winter gear! Hopping off and holding my bike in my hand, I press the buzzer for Tanya's apartment. Probably shouldn't be making house calls this close to exams, but I should make sure Millie's alright, given the state she drank herself into.
Hey, Olive. I can see you from the window. Just leave your bike beside the stairs and head on up.
Swag, swag, swag. Thank goodness I can get out of the cold. Wasting no time, I quickly hop inside and do as she says. With the building elevator out, I finally make it up the stairs and gingerly enter Tanya's room, doing my best to hide my exhaustion at biking in, then hiking up. Having handed Millie over to Tanya at the door last night, I don't know what to expect inside. Oh, have a good night. Have a good night, Doug. Thanks for hanging out. Oh. Well, I like your winter swag too, Tanya. As Tanya turns from the window to see me enter, I'm pleasantly surprised. At the very least, it's clean. A faded video game poster is all the decor to speak of, with the reused boxes and cheap furniture giving the air of a place she sleeps in, but little more.
Didn't expect to see you here. Thought you'd be off to school like a good little student.
Hey, hey.
Figured I'd check in and see how things were after leaving Millie with you yesterday.
See for yourself. Hey, Millie! You've got a visitor!
Oh god, why are you shouting? What looks like a ghost slowly emerges from the bedroom to see their visitor, dressed only in her shirt and skirt. I think this is the first time I've seen her braids undone, too. Half-dressed, disheveled, and in the throes of quite a hangover, it's a bit of a contrast to the fashionable and composed woman I'm used to.
Oh, it's Olive. Hello there.
Even her voice sounds pathetically weak. All I can do is grimace as I try to work out how to deal with her. Tanya and I are waiting for the harsh noise of the snowplow to pass before speaking.
That's quite the hangover.
Her braids are like my mental state, undone. Yep, me when I'm woken up earlier than I meant to. Me after being up for a few hours, having woken up earlier than I wanted to. Okay. That is unfathomably fitting. The worst possible jump scare that could happen. Waking up. Millie just groans as her friend rubs the back of her head at the sight.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, don't worry. I've dealt with worse.
That concerns me. That's not as reassuring as she thinks it is.
I'm gonna head to school for some studying. I can pick you up some food or something on the way back if you want to stay here.
I'll come along. Just let me get my shoes on.
You sure? You good?
Yeah, don't tell me you're going to school like that.
Tanya's concern goes unanswered as Millie shuffles back to the bedroom.
Thanks again for the invite yesterday. It was nice to forget about everything for a night.
She gives me a flat look in response.
You do know who suggested that you hang at the bar with us, right?
I let my shoulders slump and sigh. I guess it was optimistic of me to hope she'd let last night slide. Before I have to dig up a response to Tanya's irritating grin, the woman in question emerges, looking somewhat smarter this time around. At least she looks sharp while feeling half dead.
Good to head out?
Sure, let's go. You okay walking?
Yeah, a walk in the cold sounds good right now, actually.
Take care, you two.
She knows exactly what she's doing. Tanya does. And she is so living for this. Walking the bike alongside me, the two of us eventually reach the campus gate. A sudden temperature drop overnight barely even seems to register to her, despite the outfit.
What's your business on campus today, anyway?
Nothing major. I'm just here to return some books to the library. Tanya offered to come, but I told her I was fine.
Millie quietly opens her bag and slips the book in, still looking a little dazed. I think I'll stick with her just to make sure she's all right. Doesn't have sounded convincing for Tanya to let her go without escorting her, given how she... I groan and cover my face with a free hand as I realize what's going on. Still playing the matchmaker. Yep, Tanya's gonna milk this to the utmost.
Something wrong?
Oh, everything's fine. Completely fine. Let me lock up my bike and we can head over to the library.
Okay, With Billy's books dropped in the return chute, she pulls up a seat beside me at the table. She gives a sigh unfitting for her age as she sinks into it, dropping her bag beside her chair. Unfitting sigh. It's the sigh of one who's having quite the day. It's nice and warm here, at least. The sight of snow falling outside the windows adding to the coziness. Only a couple of other students are milling about, and even they are likely to just here to pass some time out of the cold. Pinching the bridge of her nose, Millie seems to look a little better for some warmth and rest. I don't usually find myself at a loss for words about her, but I can't seem to find anything to say. Even Millie is uncharacteristically quiet, yet clearly restless as she plays with her braid. Realizing my leg is tapping on the floor, I reach out for something, anything, to fill the air.
It's good you have a friend who lives downtown to pick you up. I had to ask my mom to pick me up the first time I went out drinking. Sort of put me off from doing it again.
That awkward moment of, Mom, I'm drunk.
Not your dad?
Oh.
Dad wasn't really in the picture. He left when I was still pretty little.
Oh.
Sorry, I really should have been more careful about that.
Hey, you wouldn't know. You would not know.
No, it's fine. Hasn't been a big deal in forever, really.
You say, no wonder Mom's so, protective and, fatherless behavior, honestly. Awkward silence quickly develops, made all the more pointed by a student walking past us to leave.
Funny how things end up, huh?
The quiet is broken, and I'm just as surprised as Millie that it was me who broke it.
Starting down this road because of stress and anxiety. Only to wind up spending the night drinking with you like nothing was ever wrong to begin with.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Nah. The club might have its problems, but this is fun. Things might actually turn out alright.
Wonder how long it's been since I said that. I can feel the corners of my mouth tugging upwards a little bit, just as hers do. Both of us being glad that things turned out like this.
I guess this is a long-winded way of saying thanks. For everything you've done for me.
You took an opportunity and it worked out for you. You should be thinking better of yourself, Olive. But thanks. I'm sure you'll get through the exams, even if I have to drag you over the line.
She gives a smile at my wilting. Even her optimism has its limits. I'm sure she means what she says, though. It's thanks to her that I even remotely have a shot at this. She's about to say something more, though, the words catch in her throat. Visible pause before she continues on doesn't go missed.
I'm just gonna grab another couple books I wanted to borrow. Won't be a moment.
This better not be the calm before the storm. Takes to her feet, and I follow her lead and do the same. You good, Millie? Oh, for the first time, though, I feel my head swim at the sudden change in altitude. My heart leaps out of my chest as I throw my arms out to catch myself, grabbing onto the table.
Oh, hey, are you okay?
Oh? This is She leans down close to me as I stand, offering a hand to let me up. I take it, heaving a steadying sigh.
Yeah, sorry,
Look at Millie. Her caramel eyes soften as we lock gaze, a warm smile on her face when she collects that I'm fine. We stay like that. I'm acutely aware of her hand on mine, of how close we are to each other. Oh! Oh! Before I can even process what's happening, I instinctively shut my eyes and bring myself up to my tiptoes as she leans down slightly to meet our height difference somewhere in the middle. We kiss, just barely reaching our lips together, too gentle to count. Oh! Millie's mind eventually catches up with her actions as she's the first to pull away, looking equal parts confused and embarrassed. I'm not doing much better. I step back and take a gulp to steady myself. My heart's beating up audibly, and my brain feels too fuzzy to form a coherent thought.
What was...
Was it certainly the calm before the storm? Yeah, that was smooth as heck.
I don't even know what I was...
Sometimes things just, Still trying to piece things together, her confused stammering eventually turns to a small laugh, which she does her best to stifle.
What a morning, huh? I'm sorry, I guess I'm just not all there yet.
Yeah, Millie's moving.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm sorry, too. I wasn't thinking.
Oh. The final sigh to exhale the last of her nervous energy, Millie's finally able to compose herself again with an apologetic smile. From back at her apartment, Tanya feels a positive disturbance in the force. She just fist pumps the air. Yes! Yeah, boy! That's what I'm talking about!
Wanna just agree that this never happened?
Tanya's thriving right now. She's winning. It's only brief, but I find myself pausing before I answer.
Sounds good to me.
Act 1 done. 2 weeks later. Ooh, good morning, everyone. Today's the big day. The writing club room is open bright and early today. Please feel free to come on by. Olive's bringing coffee from their diner. Oh, 7 o'clock a.m. Barf. Hi, Heather. Be there in a bit. Had me at free. Be there in a bit. Just woke up. Lol. See you soon. Okay, thanks. Yeah, day's the day. Better or worse, in a few hours I'll be done with my finals. Whether that signals the end of the semester or my college career entirely is still up in the air. Given the drastic change in weather, Millie started offering to ferry me to and from campus. The car's heaters usually does a lot to brighten my mood in the mornings, but it didn't do much today. That's what it's all about, baby! Yeah! I set up a carton of coffee somewhere on a nearby table and help myself to the caffeine, while Millie continues her text conversation with Tanya directly. I should have sensed my anxiety this morning. Honestly, I'd be surprised if she hadn't. And has spent the very few moments we've shared together so far reassuring me of how much progress I've made. I'd find it demeaning if it weren't coming from anyone else, but after seeing firsthand how much writing means to her, I don't think she'd be able to contain herself from giving honest feedback first and foremost. I'm not great, but I'm way better than I used to be, at least. Sitting in this room has always brought me some level of unease due to the dire straits the club has found itself in. But today is a whole new level of stress.
It's good to see all of you this morning. Let's get started.
Millie takes her usual place at the front of the class, ready to begin the meeting.
I'm sure everyone's going to do fine, but extra preparation never hurt anyone. I know Olive is looking for some general tutoring this morning. What does everyone else need help with?
Hey, Darren, I feel like you haven't seen you in, like, 5 ever. Millie, looking... That's a precious sweater. First time we've seen that. And Heather is there being Heather. Even with everyone present, the silence is familiar as ever. The only sound accompanying my restless shifting in my seat is Darren shuffling some papers around beside me.
Anyone?
Again, she's met with an awkward quiet. Tanya looks around expectantly, but doesn't chime in. Heather sits with her eyes closed and arms crossed, physically blocking out the room as much as possible. Heather is here being... just here to, cause trouble. Darren sits in the back, silently fidgeting with a pen. Millie's expression falters. Mine follows not long after. I know she said to set this up for my sake, and having it only serve as a reminder about the state of the club racks me with guilt.
Well, I appreciate everyone checking in. Don't let me keep you if you don't need anything. I just wanted to make an open offer.
Good talk, gang. Good talk.
Actually,
Alright, Darren. Heather, no. Well, okay, bye. Heather stands from her desk and starts her way toward the door, managing to interrupt Darren without saying a
And
thing.
here I thought you were gonna spice things up when you suggested an off-hours meeting. Fool me once, I guess.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Tanya slams her hands on the desk and stands up, successfully falling for Heather's provocation, even if it wasn't directed at her.
Oh my god, I'm so sick of you. There's gotta be better entertainment out there than showing up only to make people feel like crap.
I mean, at some point, we need to just...
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you raise your hand earlier either. Did you need some help? I'd love to be your study buddy.
I'd rather choke. I'm here because I'm
Oh.
supporting my friend. Where did all yours go again?
Oh no.
Hey, you two...
Oh dear. Even though she's trying to mediate, Millie's interjection barely even registers as audible. She's already lost control of the situation, a fact she's well aware of as she sinks into a corner of the room.
Support her? By causing a scene like this, that fearless leader of yours is looking pretty distressed, don't you think?
Oh dear.
Don't you pin this on me.
I mean...
Get real. You must be more delusional than Millie if you really think you're helping anything.
do you two mind?
Olive! My question isn't loud, but it still manages to halt the two in their tracks, surprising them almost as much as it does me. Stepping into something like this is something I go out of my way to never do. The anxiety surrounding my finals and Millie's distress only compound my frustration.
If you don't need the help, that's fine, but I do. We don't really have the time to get distracted by your fighting. So, cut it out. Please.
Give it to him, Olive. Yeah. I was riding high for a second there, but then my bravado faded faster than I would have liked. Still, it seems to have its intended effect as Heather rolls her eyes and makes her exit without another word. Alone with her resentment, Tanya takes a breath to assess her situation. She looks to Millie, still visibly downtrodden, then to me. After a few moments, she hangs her head, sighing. When the quiet kid interjects, you know it's serious. Yes.
I'm gonna head out too. Good luck with your exams today, guys.
See, I love Tanya, and I love that she's there for Millie, but I feel like that's the concern I had about Tanya being in the club, that she's only here for Millie and not here for writing, and Millie is here for writing. So, Tanya's moral support is nice, but Tanya's not here for the writing, so it's still kind of demoralizing while in its support, if that makes sense. Heart is in the right place, but you know. She grabs her bag, everything still packed inside, and follows after her nemesis. Once the door is closed behind Tanya, Millie's shoulders immediately slump. And don't get me wrong, Heather completely deserves it for the shit she tries to stir, but it's one of those things that's going to blow, and it's not going to be pleasant when it blows. Because, like, essentially, if Heather bails, either Heather stays in here and starts shit and CM Punk's all over this place, or Heather leaves and the whole thing falls apart because we don't have enough members to keep going. And Darren's barely hanging on by a thread, and then it's literally just me, just Olive. They only stay that way for a moment before she pulls herself back together. Her smile returns, if noticeably weaker, as she makes way over to my desk. She rests her hand on the chair in front of mine, swiveling the desk around so it faces mine, scraping unpleasantly across the ground as she does so, and takes her seat. Her smile softens, looking a lot more sincere than it did moments ago. Part of me doesn't want to disturb this moment by pulling out my worksheets. Unfortunately, I'm not even given the opportunity as she breaks eye contact with me. Oh, hi, Darren. I follow her line of sight, turning round to spot Darren sinking awkwardly into his chair. I sort of forgot he was still here.
Sorry about all that. Really, don't let me keep you.
I actually did come for the study session if the offer's still open.
Well, yeah, sure. He glances over to me for a second, his head immediately snapping back to Millie afterwards.
Oh, but I understand if you just wanted to focus on Olive, especially given their
No,
situation.
stay.
Just happened.
No, not at all. Pull up a desk. I'll do what I can for you.
Hey, I've never seen someone so happy to have their workload double before. Olive smile, we love to see it. Darren reluctantly pulls himself from his desk, grabbing his various papers he had scattered across its surface in the process. After finding a desk near us, he places his papers gently down on it again before repeating Millie's process of swiveling it to face us, unpleasant screeching included.
Why didn't you speak up sooner?
I was having a moment here.
It feels like walking through a minefield with those two in the room sometimes.
All right, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darren shifts his attention to his worksheets, flipping through the papers before finding the one he was looking for, sliding it over to Millie.
I just wanted to brush up on my geology, if you're willing. Here's an answer sheet.
Millie takes the paper from him, giving it a quick skim.
Sure, I can do that. I'll be swapping between you and Olive, though. Is that okay?
I didn't expect anything else. I can help you with your writing class too if you want, Olive. Oh, and history, if either of you need that.
I'll take anything you're willing to give. Thanks. I can't really offer you much in return, though.
No problem. I'm just glad to have someone to bounce questions off.
Yeah, there we go. We got a good...
Sounds like we have a plan then. Since I already have the worksheet in front of me, let's start with you, Darren.
All right, let's do this. The three of us don't have much time before our final classes start, but we try to make the most of it, Millie juggling Darren and I's tutoring as best as she's able, with Darren chiming in to help with writing advice when he can. I'm still not especially confident. I doubt I ever really could be. This is the best chance I'm going to get. The stress constantly rises up during Millie's quizzing, but becomes easier and easier to push back down as the morning goes on. When it's over, we pack up in a tense silence, making small jokes and chatting to try and lighten the mood. Darren leaves first. Millie heaves a deep sigh, obviously worrying just as much for me as I am. Still, there's not much else we can do now. Pack away the flashcards last and exchange a shrug with her. Even with the threat of losing my opportunity to graduate, as I leave the club room I can't help my mind turning from literary devices and thematic elements back to Millie. Back to the thing I was supposed to forget. Just gotta pretend it never happened and focus on passing. If I repeat it enough times, hopefully it'll stick. Just gotta pretend it didn't happen for another day yet until we're through finals. Then we can think about it again. You got this, Olive. Oh, out of character. Determined Millie. Later that day. My shoulders feel infinitely lighter as Millie, Haley, and I make our way back out to the front of campus. The exam's finally over. My grades officially out of my hands, the act of offloading my books back to the school felt like a hard-earned victory lap. One I was more than glad to take. Caprice didn't join us. Of course she didn't, but things have felt sort of awkward even without her presence. Still, the quiet we share as we take our final stroll through the campus of the year is nice, and I'm fine with leaving it there for now. All good things must come to an end, though, and nothing serves as better proof than the sight of Tanya locking eyes with us as she finishes rummaging through her truck, textbooks in hand.
Yo! Hey, 3. Oh, drop off your books yet? How's the crowd in there?
We just finished, actually. Good luck, there's still a line forming.
Tanya's shoulders thump a little as her head droops. Eventually, her free hand slips into a pocket, holding a set of keys as they re-emerge. Spins right back around, opens the truck's passenger door, and throws the books haphazardly on the seat. They can wait.
I'll just head home and come back tomorrow or something. Got better things to do than hover around a bookstore for an hour.
Mind if I go ahead? I'll get the car warmed up while you 3 talk.
Sure. Go ahead.
Millie digs out her own keys, passing them over to her roommate. With a quick nod, Haley's off, ever eager to dip out of a conversation. Tanya doesn't seem offended at the act, instead wearing a big smile.
Grats, Olive. All that worrying was for nothing, huh?
Millie's outfits are always amazing. Yeah, honestly.
I'll let you know the answer to that as soon as the grades actually come in.
Jeez. Always the same with you.
Don't worry, Ward.
Oh!
Some things never change. One more spin around from Tanya as she digs through her truck once more. When she turns around, this time she's holding a beer can in each hand, each shoved in mine and Millie's directions.
It's as good a reason to celebrate as any, yeah?
Crack open a Tanya Weiser right in the middle of
You just keep a 6-pack in your truck?
right in the middle of campus like this.
What? No, what kind of woman do you take me for?
No, I'd never, you
The kind of
know.
woman who keeps a 6-pack in her truck.
A small giggle from Millie. A reward well earned.
The nerve of some people. No, I just went and bought some groceries before coming over.
White jacket with a red belt and scarf. Yes.
I don't really want to drink on campus. Thanks.
I love Millie's jacket, but I also love Olive's jacket. That's the kind of jacket I'd wear right there. I love thick and comfy jackets. I raise a hand to my chest to refuse the offer, only for Tanya to roll her eyes and direct her attention at Millie instead. Unlike me, Millie ends up accepting the offer, taking the can from her friend.
Thank you, but I'm going to have to side with Olive. I'll gladly take it home for later, if that's okay.
You two were really made for each other.
She knows. Millie's back straightens at the remark. If the cold wasn't already causing it, I'm sure a blush would be starting to form, speaking from experience.
I'm not drinking anything before I drive home, Tanya.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. We're showing which jacket we'd wear. I guess I'd wear something like Tanya's. If there's a hoodie. Yeah, I think that is a hoodie. It looks... She's got a hood going on there.
Yeah. Can of this watered-down garbage isn't any worse than that stuff at the bar, but I get it.
Millie doesn't understand that drinking and driving is cool.
Speaking of which, I think it's about time we get going. Ready, Olive?
Where's the Sonic soundboard here? There's a thing that I added here.
This is illegal, you know.
Yeah. Do not drink and drive.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, actually, mind if I borrow them for a bit? Just a couple minutes.
Uh-oh. I turn to Millie, who returns the gesture in kind.
Okay. Just don't take too long. I don't want to keep Haley waiting.
Where's that quote from? Yep, the Zelda CDI game.
Like I said, just a couple minutes. Now, shoot.
Tanya knows. With a couple flicks of her wrists, she urges Millie along, leaving me alone to whatever mysterious fate Tanya has in store for me. My hopes of learning what's on her mind are dashed as she stays entirely silent, waiting until Millie's entirely out of eyesight, as she disappears behind a row of cars.
So,
Yeah, for what surely has to be the last time, Tanya turns around, sorting through her mess of a vehicle. Once more she returns, this time with a small box of frosted cookies, presenting them to me.
for Millie, obviously. She's typically bad at accepting gifts, so I'm dumping them on you so she doesn't get the chance to return them. It's a miracle she even took the can.
If you keep pawning off your groceries, you aren't gonna have anything left by the time you get home.
I think I'll manage to survive the night without a box of snacks and a can of beer.
If you're sure, I'll make sure she gets them then.
She'll need them a lot more than I do. Can't imagine having to actually live with the runt.
Frosted cookies, let's go! Are these those grocery store sugar cookies? The ones that the like styrofoam sugar cookies? If so, then hell yeah, we're gonna tear into those. They're awful, but we still love them. The animosity is still decidedly mutual, it looks like.
The club's kinda miserable, but it's gotta be better than her home life.
Ooh.
That's not exactly how I'd have worded it. I thought your opinion of the club would have been at least a little higher than that.
Just heat them up. Oh. Just heat them up. Just heat them. Oh. New cookie lore unlocked, Twin. I've never actually considered that. New, Telehouse, new cookie lore unlocked.
Only when Millie's in earshot.
Jeez, that stings, and it's only secondhand.
Hey, what's that look for?
Just thinking about how Millie would feel hearing that, I guess.
Don't you dare.
Oh.
Oh, but why are you there in that case?
Nothing super deep. Once the club was in Millie's hands and it started falling apart, she needed warm bodies to keep it afloat.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
She
thought.
asked, so I agreed. Not the most complicated thing in the world.
So if it was doing fine, you wouldn't be there.
Definitely not. Well, same to you though, right? Wouldn't have even given it a second glance if your situation wasn't the way it was.
Oof. I have a hard time arguing that. Even now, it's hard for me to get super invested in it, but I like to think I'm trying at least.
All that matters is that I'm doing it as a friend, and that's all that should matter. Whether or not I actually care doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, that is very true of the Olive at the start of the semester. Yeah, now it's a bit more complicated. Now things have changed a fair bit. Like, I feel like Olive's grown to the point where they want to, live up to the passion that Millie has for this. It's a very different outlook than Titania's now. We both stand there a moment, conversation fizzling out with neither of us knowing how to end it properly. Tanya eventually breaks the ice with a stretch.
Anyway, I'm gonna freeze to death if we keep chatting out here. I'm sure your girlfriend is starting to worry too. Take care on the roads.
Same to you.
She knows. With a nod, Tanya makes her way around the truck to the driver's seat. I start my trek through the parking lot to meet back up with Millie and Haley, cookies in hand. Even if the intention is there, I can't help but feel like the gift is a little hollow now. Yeah, that offhand comment kind of takes the wind out of the sails, so to speak. Oh, where we at?
Is there any way?
Oh no.
Sorry, for the last time, no. You'll have to look online like everyone else. I can't help you here.
Oh no, they're going after grades.
Ugh.
They want the grades. Give them the grades. In every way except physically strong-arming me out the door, the school's registrar kicks me out. So much for that, I guess. They want the outcome. I drag my feet back to the admin's area. Cozy little room for people waiting to speak with advisors or counselors. Usually there's at least a couple other people.
What'd she say?
Millie shoots up from the nearby couch as I approach. Besides her, the place is empty.
To just be patient. Ugh.
Shoot. I'm sorry. I thought it was worth a shot.
It was.
No dice. I slump on the couch. The grades were supposed to be up 2 days ago. Most every other class has released them, but the writing professor has been silent to all my email attempts. I close my eyes. I passed everything else. Not with flying colors or anything. Mine, but I passed. It was good enough. I warily open them again, only when I hear the door opening.
Ollie?
Mom? Though she speaks up first, Mom quickly joins me in silence as we stare at each other in surprise. Millie's the first to break the silence.
Hi, Miss Penn.
Hello! Millie, right? It's good to see you.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing here?
That high-pitched awkward moment. Oh no. I don't mean for it to sound accusatory, but so I try to continue, but my mom weighs me down and takes a seat next to me without a worry.
I was coming to speak to the registrar.
Oh no.
What? Why?
Well,
She laughs a bit, like she got caught in the act.
you don't usually make too many mistakes at work, but
Huh?
the last couple days you've been distracted.
Oh my god, are you coming here to ask for grades? Because we've been distracted at work. Mom.
I thought if I was able to get them to hurry things along, I could help ease your mind a bit.
Mom, sweetie, honey, oh dear. She turns to Millie, who nods along.
Looks like we had the same idea, though. I was too slow on the draw.
It's fine. It didn't work out for us in the end.
We are Team Olive here. Billy starts recounting our current trials this morning. The professor himself isn't anywhere in the building, the guidance counselor doesn't have access to the grades, and the registrar is very much unable, or unwilling, to help. Secondhand cringe is too strong. Mom, God, please.
Shame.
My mom sighs, folding her hands together on her lap. A bit of guilt racks up my stomach. She doesn't get a lot of days off, so coming here because I've been a mess at work.
Well, it doesn't have to be all bad. And sitting around moping isn't going to get us anywhere.
She perks up a bit, giving us both a smile practiced from years of waitressing and customer service. A look I've seen 1,000 times. Like the food is taking too long to come out, so she'll bring over some appetizers.
How about we head to the park for some fresh air? It's been a long time since I've been, and it's a lovely little area.
And you can tell me all about it, or what you've got going on here.
I think that's a wonderful idea. Oh, if I'm invited, of course.
Mom's just, oh, you are absolutely invited, Millie.
After all you've done for us? Of course.
Well, we don't know if they've passed yet.
They laugh together at that. I shrug.
I don't know. I think I'll go home and check the site from there.
Oh, don't be like that. Let's go get your mind off of things.
They each take one of Olive's arms. They take one of Olive's arms like, you are going to the park. Between Mom's earnest jostling and Millie's expectant stare, it becomes abundantly clear that the only way out is through.
Alright.
I Can't promise I'll stop worrying about it, though. My unspoken disclaimer is ignored. The other two stand, talking about the logistics of driving before deciding it'd be easier if we just carpool in Mom's van. Mom van! She's got a mom van! Top tier mom. Oh, this is nice. We haven't actually been to the park, have we? Shivering, Mom pulls her coat tighter around herself. Idly, I regret not springing for a new coat for her birthday. I put it on a mental list for Christmas gift ideas. Millie waits a bit ahead, lacing her fingers together as she looks around. Walk on over to her as Mom looks for the hand warmer she keeps stocked in the glove box.
It's nice out.
It is.
Oh, to be young again. Since I hit 40, it's like the wind just goes right through me.
Do you want to head back? We can hang out at the Bell House or something.
Oh, it's my day off. I don't even want to think about work today, let alone spend even more time there. I'll be fine once I get the blood flowing.
Yeah, you know, it takes a little bit while to get going. She straightens her shoulders and braces, her wispy brown and gray hair flowing in the light breeze. We take off down the path around the park center. The distance, some kids laugh as they run around, playing some sort of obstacle race. Their parents are close by, talking over coffee and following their children, likely to race in if any of them fall.
Oh, I loved this park as a kid.
Ollie did too. Did you live around here?
Not really. We live on the other side of the bridge. I only came here a couple of times, actually. But it's so much better than the one we had by our house.
Oh?
Mom and I would come here during her lunch breaks, so I got sick of it pretty quick.
Oh, Ollie, don't be like that. You loved coming here.
When I was like 6? Yeah. Not so much at 14.
Yeah, okay, yeah, interests change as a teenager. You start to, you know. Mom laughs. It's a nice laugh, loud and earnest, the kind that she can't do while working. Oh? A smile crosses my face, but it quickly disappears when my phone buzzes. Whip it out and slide open the lock as fast as I can, trying to read the notification. Cacao!
Is it?
Buy one drink, get one free.
Oh yeah! Despite their team effort to help me relax, both Mom and Millie have a giant sigh of disappointment, too. Looks like we're all just trying to distract ourselves.
Anyhow, tell me more about yourself, Millie. What are you studying?
Yes, give me the deets. Give me the tea, Millie. Ever the master of small talk, Mom starts listing off questions to Millie. Oh, have a good night, Red. The chat order makes it seem like you're leaving because of the cringe, which understandable. Ever the master of small talk, Mom starts listing off questions to Millie, listening earnestly and intently. Millie seems happy to oblige, occasionally trying to include me in the conversation. Try to keep up, but it's hard to focus. Instead, I try to log into the school webpage as we walk. Maybe they'll post it there first. Sure that the email's automated after the fact, and if the servers are down, maybe.
Right, Olive?
Huh? Yeah, sure. Wait, what?
That is a startlingly perfect depiction of intrusive thoughts.
I was just telling your mom about how much you've improved as a writer. And that you should publish your work sometime.
Blech. What?
Huh? No, that's a terrible idea.
I'm just teasing. But, got you to look up from your phone for a minute.
Hey, she got you there. Mom giggles and I sigh, pocketing the phone for now. Last thing I need today is a heart attack. That can wait until after I know if I've failed. As we walk, my mom starts telling Millie about her time in college. She never did finish her degree, but her love for study never quite left her. Occasionally, she'll still tell me about a random documentary she watched the other day, or a particularly interesting internet article. It makes talking easy. The three of us find little sparks of inspiration through each topic. Something to comment on, something to ask more about. Millie's usual air of rehearsed conversation is nowhere to be found. She even makes some risque jokes, much to my mom's humor. As we near the end of the walk, the air is quiet. The families at the park have left for warmer climates. Warmer climes. Lunch, probably, so it's just us now. My phone buzzes again. I pull it out of my pocket, this time confirming first that it isn't a promotional text message before unlocking it. Mom and Millie try to act casual, but they've slowed to match my pace. So when the application, the first words that catch my eye are final assessment. We all stop. Not even sure if any of us are breathing. Millie peeks over one shoulder while Mom clings to me, trying to squint to see the lettering.
It's...
Survey says. I tap the email.
This is it.
Loading. Refresh already. Come on.
Is it up? Did you pass?
Survey says. Inch by inch, the horribly presented 90s style attachment loads in. So far, it only shows the deductions to the score. Missed question, incorrect tense, unclear sentence. Oh no.
Ollie, we're so incredibly proud of you.
Oh, Mom, you're so sweet. But this is final assessment. Huh?
I passed.
You passed?
Yeah!
I passed!
Oh, Olive! Congratulations!
My mom pulls me and Millie into a giant hug, jumping up and down and laughing. Millie laughs and ruffles my hair, spouting equal parts, "I told you so, and you did it!" Oh, I passed! So I don't mind the tears prickling at the corners of my eyes, or how stupid we must look to any passerby by jumping around an empty park and screaming. I passed! Yes! We love to see it. That's what I'm talking about, baby! Confetti in the courtroom. Yes. Oh. Once again, I find myself outside Millie's apartment, though this time the occasion's much different. With my exams officially behind me and no plans to pursue a career as a novelist, I'm returning her notebooks, finally. When I reached out about it, she invited me to go for a walk together, just to keep in touch over break. Under pretense of needing to study, we haven't been talking nearly as much as before. Oh. Since that day in the library, I've been trying to forget. I promised to. Distance has helped in some ways, but more than anything, I do miss her, as a friend. So I agreed. But now, standing outside her apartment door, I almost regret it. You don't need to be so nervous. I'm just going to see my girl, space, friend. Full stop. Ring the doorbell, my heart doubling in pace as I do. Much as I want to tell myself I'm staying calm, maybe this should be expected. Muffled feet skipping up can be heard from the other side. The door opens just a crack as a pair of hazel eyes peeks across the edge before swinging open.
Morning, Olive. Come right in.
Oh, hey. Are you...
I want to say awake. Her hair is undone and she looks like she just got out of bed. She yawns and waves her hand a bit in front of her face.
Sorry, no, I'm fine. You came a little bit earlier than I expected. Just give me a second, I'll be right out.
First kiss and final exams passed. They're winning in life, yes. Now it's time to... They got through exams, now it's time to process the other thing.
Sure, I can wait here.
Or you could wait in our perfectly comfortable kitchen.
Get in here, Ollie.
I could do that.
She smirks a little, suppressing a laugh, and angles her body away from the door to gesture toward the kitchen. Get in here, Olive. Oh, yeah, there's the Olive. There's the otter. I quietly shuffle in after her and shut the door behind me. A slight scent hangs in the air. Nail polish remover, perfume, or some mix of the two. Not exactly sure what it is, besides pleasant and sweet. The air is quiet, save for some ruffling inside the bedroom beside me. Oh? She's careful as she moves around, so I get the feeling the other two must still be asleep. As she turns away, I call out in a sudden whisper.
Oh, wait. Before you go and I forget. Here's your notebooks.
Oh, right. Thank you, Olive. I hope they came in handy.
More than you know. I think they might be the only reason I passed.
You really have to stop downplaying your own accomplishments.
We'll bonk you every time you're self-depreciating. Millie gives a slight pout as she leans over. I sit, stunned, but she gives me a quizzical look and grabs the notebooks from my hands. I feel my face flush hot instantly. So much for not being nervous. Oh, Uh-oh, that's a door clatters behind us, followed by a sudden motion darting out behind Millie. The blur of movement turns out to be a much smaller woman sliding out of her bedroom, right on cue.
Gotcha.
Whoa! Uh-oh. Caprice sighting. With a knowing, mischievous grin, Caprice walks up, donning her hat like an old-timey
The
detective.
final puzzle piece falls into place. Think you could sneak a fast one by me, huh?
What are you on about now?
Uh-oh.
I'm solving the greatest mystery of our time. Why on earth would Olive here be in a writing class over the much cooler option? The only reason someone would choose your club over mine is because of a crush.
You got the order of operations here wrong, Caprice, but, you pointed both of us with a dramatic flair.
You two are dating.
Take that! What?
Don't even try. I'm onto you, sneaking around, whispering to each other. It was obvious.
Yup, you got us.
What?
Really?
I looked toward Millie as if trying to chime in a really of my own, too.
You literally just said so. What were you expecting to hear? Happy? Now can you please leave us be? We have a date.
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted. You two lovebirds have fun. But I'm telling Mike you're ditching the family brunch for your new sweetheart.
You wouldn't.
Oh no.
Try me. Why wouldn't I? The guilt eating you up inside.
Oh no.
Because I haven't told him yet.
The banter stops the cold turkey. Caprice hesitates, her pose relaxing and a look of guilt crossing her face. Millie turns back to me, slightly avoiding my eyes.
I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Regret? She stands up and steals a glance toward Caprice, who shoves her hands in her pockets and pretends not to look. Millie disappears into her bedroom to get ready. Yeah, it's a definite look of regret. Silence fills the room, something I would have thought to be a rarity around Caprice before. Seeing firsthand how quickly a row between them can go from angry to awkward, though it's probably more common than I expected. That was less angry than I expected until that bit about the family. I get the distinct feeling that she's staring at me. This is the first time we've really had to interact since I decided on the writing club, and the elephant in the room of Millie's declaration of our status hangs in the air.
So, Haley not up yet?
I forgot how bubbly and energetic Caprice is. It has been a while since we've seen her. The narration is that she has very distinctly been avoiding being around Millie since we've been around Millie. Someone working in customer service, you'd really think I'd have any idea on how to do small talk now.
Still sleeping.
Even through all this commotion?
Probably especially through all this commotion.
Super heavy sleeper.
Yeah. Caprice runs a hand through her hair and inhales. Like she's trying to work herself up to something. Her question comes out in the airy exhale.
So when did it happen?
What?
You know, you two?
Oh, yesterday.
Smooth. Sure, I guess. I mean, we made the plan to go on a walk yesterday. I try not to let my face betray just how confused I am at this, too. Thinking.
What?
Please don't ask questions. I don't know anything about this either. Not that I hate it. It's, I try to keep my expression neutral. Get a grip, Olive. Caprice, apparently not noticing, pulls a chair out from across from me and starts picking at a tangerine, trying to get the peel off in one big strip. Oh? She's pouting in an exaggerated way, a smile sneaking through every couple seconds.
Millie's been off for the past while is all. Guess you got her good.
Oh?
To be honest, well, we set up this whole brunch to try and get her to cheer up a bit, but maybe this is better.
Oh? I feel warmth coming to my face. At her sincerity, Caprice's attempt at masking her smile proves futile, as it's as wide as I've ever seen. And now that she takes pleasure in it all.
Love is the worst, huh?
Yeah. Oh. Seeing movement from the corner of my eye, Millie appears to have finished preparing as she arrives. Her winter clothes are appropriately classy for her, even if they do make me feel a little underdressed in comparison.
Oh, hey, you look great.
Thank you. You look pretty sharp yourself.
Right, yeah, me, sharp. Very.
Just get going already.
Oh, right. Caprice's expression has returned to a disgruntled frown. It's genuinely impressive how quickly she can put the mask back on, even if it does crack sort of easily. She flicks her hand a couple of times to get the lovebirds out of her hair. The two of us do just that. See ya, Caprice. Whatever's been getting between these two for so long. Based on how Caprice is acting, at least when we got her alone there, it feels like something that we might be able to settle if we can ever get them to just sit down and talk. Just put it all on the table. Whatever it is, it's got them completely bottled up. Given the circumstances, I really had no idea how today was going to go. I feel like both of us only had vague plans of what our schedule for the day was going to be like. Still, I don't think this is what either of us quite had in mind. We walk in silence all the way down the street to where her car, Junebug, is parked somewhat illegally in front of a fire hydrant. When I'm sure we're out of earshot for the apartment, I stop dead in my tracks.
Hey, so...
My single-ass self would do the same if I see my friends or family members being lovey-dovey. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
What was that?
Millie's cool expression lasts for a moment. She meets my gaze evenly, like nothing was amiss. Then all at once it crumples as she throws her hands up into her hair.
Oh my god, After our talk last night, I told Caprice I was gonna go on a walk today instead of the brunch, but she kept insisting, and then I really didn't have a good excuse, and she said she'd bring the whole family so we can all go on a walk, and I really can't deal with more talks about how great the wedding is going to be and how beautiful it will all be and what a new beginning this is for everyone, and I just panicked, and I thought maybe if I said it was a date, she would give me a second to just breathe.
You good? You good? Feel better?
Oh, gosh, Olive, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have roped you into this whole thing.
Let's start from the beginning here. She loses any sense of composure and sinks, leaning against her car and hiding her face in her hands.
Okay. Can we back up, maybe?
Yeah, let's go back to the start here. What's this about a wedding?
I'm so sorry. I'll call Caprice now. I just didn't want to...
I'm not saying that. It's, unexpected, sure, but I mean, you know, some context would really help me out here.
Millie pulls her face from her hands and looks at me. Something about this seems off, and there's a million things I want to ask, but first, the small steps.
Let's go on that walk, and we can talk?
Millie stares at me like I just offered to give her $1 million.
Yeah, okay. A walk sounds great.
All right. Don't even remember the drive. We were headed to the park the next town over that has beautiful scenery, according to Millie. In the back of my head, I realized the whole plan was to get as far away from her apartment as possible. Couldn't find the time to worry about that, though. Instead, I was carefully entangling the web of words Millie threw out in a panic, trying to figure out where to start. Maybe it's not necessary, though. We, barely make it 5 steps when Millie begins fidgeting with her braid, starting and restarting sentences.
Right. So, maybe we can, the whole dating excuse thing.
I mean, I'm not...
That'd be a nice place to start.
As we talk, we'll gawk at the natural landscape. Yeah. This is as good a place as any to, unwind here.
I'm trying to get out of this brunch for, well, since they brought it up a few days ago.
They?
Caprice won't take no for an answer. Every time I try, she keeps pulling me back in. If I say I don't want to eat breakfast, she suggests lunch. If I say I have early dinner plans, she suggests brunch. Over and over.
Okay, so having a date.
Alright.
I just thought if she saw I was doing something positive, she wouldn't mind.
Fair.
Why not just say you're going out with Tanya?
Because every time Tanya and I go out, we go to a bar. That only reignites her recruitment efforts.
And keep in mind, Caprice, according to Tanya, Caprice did get mad at Millie for leaving that bottle of wine out, so that's very clearly a point of contention between Caprice and Millie. I try not to show it too much, but on that specific point, Caprice may be right. Although I was happy to join in those couple of times, I don't think I could handle drinking any more often than that. I'm sure it can't be healthy, and it didn't escape me how well the bartenders seemed to recognize both Millie and Tanya wherever we went. Millie pauses to watch some birds peck at the ground in front of us, fluffy and fat. I wonder how easy my life must be for them.
Okay. And going to this brunch is bad.
You could say that, but then you'd be the only other person on Team Millie in the whole world.
I'm on Team Millie. I just want to know where you're coming from in this.
What's wrong with Caprice's family?
If they're anything like her, I can't imagine why a whole crowd of them might be overwhelming. Instead, Millie turns to me, a difficult expression written across her face.
It's not... The family brunch is supposed to be me, her, and our parents.
Our?
They're getting married.
Our? Oh. Oh. Oh.
Sorry, I know it shouldn't matter. They're adults and they can do whatever they want.
Oh. I would be with Team Millie, but you know, free catering for me. All that food. Free brunch. That is certainly a thing. Our parents are getting married.
I just wish they'd stop trying to drag me into it.
Yeah, Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Do you not like her mom?
No, it's not that at all. I adore Charlie. It's just...
Millie groans, trying to explain something that she's already sure I won't understand.
It's just... I can't get into it right now.
Alright, that's fair.
I just really need some space. I feel like ever since that announcement, I haven't been able to even think without Caprice barging in trying to fix everything with brute force and a smile.
Yeah, that certainly... She goes quiet. I don't know what I could possibly say, or if I even should say anything. Whatever's going on has a depth I'm not equipped for. Millie herself seems to struggle scratching the surface of it, so whatever chance I have is close to none. Watching her stare out toward the trees where the birds have flocked together and nestled on a branch, you can see her go through a million different explanations and ultimately fail to develop any single one. Between the riding club falling apart around her, being bombarded with a wedding she doesn't approve of at home, even her friends roping me in to help in their own ways, I think I might understand a bit better now. Even if the way she went about it was pure survival instinct, I don't think I mind it being a quick getaway, a shield to let her get away from it all.
Alright, I think I get it.
Are you mad? I would be pretty mad.
Eh.
Yeah. I decided to leave out the fact that a tiny bit of what Caprice had said earlier rang true. Bit of a crush never hurt anyone.
Look, the fact is, without you, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Maybe working a second job to try and pay back my mom or whatever. The least I can do is help you get some peace of mind. You of all people deserve that.
Aww. Oh. Millie blinks a few times. A broad grin grows across her face, then I lose my footing slightly as she pulls me into a hug.
Thank you so much, Olive.
Don't mention it.
Oh.
Do you want to set some ground rules?
Ground rules?
I mean, we can just play it by ear. I did tell Caprice we just started dating yesterday.
We do another lap around the lake, exchanging general rules and guidelines. No kissing, as if that was adoption. Yes, hand-holding. No pet names. We promise not to worry too much over it, not to let it ruin what we have going for us. Halfway through, it becomes a bit of a game. We start going back and forth on fun excuses for her to use, like my apartment being flooded, or how we planned a backpacking trip for the entire weekend. It's just kind of sweet. Some of Millie's inner author comes out as we talk over the specifics of our story. Then I confess to her that she accepted that I gave her some flowers. I'm struck immediately by how much of a romantic she is. So naturally, Olive has to actually try and spin up their own budding author skills to properly confess somewhere down the line. We round the bend of the lake once more, smiling.
That's good. Oh, and if they ask why I fell for you, it'll be because of a story you wrote in club that just captured my heart.
The princess in the castle and the,
Oh, which one? My totally fictional romance from the point of view of a failing student?
A student, mentor, bonk bonk. God, they're cute. Gives me a playful shove as we head over to the car, wait in the sidewalk as she goes to retrieve it. Parked so close to two cars that there'd be no possible way for me to get in without hitting the car next to it. That can't be good. Uh-oh, battery's dead. Cold. I lean over to get a glimpse of Millie's expression, but instead I just see her hair as she rests her forehead against the steering wheel. Uh-oh. She pulls out her cell phone and begins dialing. Oh. A few hours later. Uh-oh. We know where we wound up.
Want another cup of coffee?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Oh. I like to message Lumi. Hello. You're just in time for some wholesome goodness. What is always time for wholesome goodness on Twofold Tuesday. How's it going? I top her off, laying out some extra creamer on the table. After her car broke down, she called a tow truck and got it taken to her dad's repair shop. We took the bus back to town. I'm not really scheduled to work, but I figured hanging out here was probably better than my place. Understandably, after this morning, Millie was reticent to go back to her apartment so early, too. How's streaming going? It seems wholesome. It really is wholesome. This game is really... God, I'm struggling to find the words. It's just really, really heartfelt, and it's really hit home so far. Like we're on the second act of Millie's route, the writing club, and this is just. See, we've made it through fall semester. We're on winter break, and now it's just Olive and Millie. She didn't call her dad until well after 3, when they'd definitely be done with their brunch. She gave a lukewarm excuse about her car breaking down and her cell not having signal. Since then, we've been hanging out here until her car is ready. Her dad promised to drop it off once he got it working again.
Are
you sure you don't want to take a break?
Unable to just sit still for hours, I put on an apron a bit earlier and started helping out with the dinner rush.
I'm fine. Can you run table 3? It's in the window.
Mom shakes her head in defeat and loads her arms up with plates, scurrying off back to deliver food. Also, shout out to August for being absolute top-tier mom. Millie's been sitting in the same booth for a few hours now. In the time we've been here, she's almost finished the novel she's working through. Some mystery novel. Every once in a while, she flips forward a few pages with a worried look on her face, only to exhale in relief and go back to where she was. When I asked her about it...
I can't stand not knowing if my favorite character is going to die or not.
Oh, I have to check to prepare my... Oh, what is my mouse doing?
What do you do if they do?
Sorry about that.
Skip to the end to see if the killer gets caught.
Oh no.
And if it ends on a cliffhanger?
I return the book.
Understandable. Outside, night has fallen. I don't mind the days getting shorter, but it definitely screws with my overall perception of time. Damn, that's me with TV tropes. Always eyeing the spoilers and TV tropes, and then instinctively clicking on the spoilers anyway to show them. Can never resist the spoilers. Outside, night has fallen. I don't mind the days getting shorter, but it definitely screws with my overall perception of time. Cleaning off an empty table when the bell chimes.
Welcome to the Bell House.
Ooh, is this Millie's dad? If they don't want us to click on the spoilers, then why do you make them so clickable? It's so clickable, so satisfying to click. There's secrets in there and it feels good, the little animation when they reveal. Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking for...
Oh, is this Millie's dad?
Dad, I'm over here.
It's Millie's dad, oh no. Millie springs up from her table, grabbing her book as she goes. The man, Millie's dad apparently, perks up right away, instantly looking more comfortable seeing his daughter than talking to a random stranger.
Thanks for coming out here. How's Junebug?
Can't be getting attached to secondary characters in murder mystery. I mean, of course we can. That's how the fun starts, Lila. You get attached to the secondary characters, then you start writing the spin-offs to give the secondary characters their time in the limelight, and then you have several 100,000 words on fanfiction.net.
See for yourself.
He gestures outside, where Millie's car is idling at the parking spot closest to the door. Millie exhales loudly, pressing her hands close to her chest. Not wanting to eavesdrop, I busy myself with cleaning the booth Millie was at. Unfortunately, it's also a very small diner, so it's impossible not to overhear everything.
Wow, thank goodness. What was wrong with her?
Nothing too major. Just had a bit of buildup in the injector.
He puts his hands in his pocket, glancing away from Millie. Just nodding. Yeah, that's... I hate it when my injector gets built up.
You got a royal change somewhere else, huh?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't want to bother you.
Yeah, you can, but then you're just gonna risk having a bad time, as he did numerous times in Danganronpa. That's just Danganronpa. You're just always gonna have a bad time in Danganronpa. The worst thing you can do with Danganronpa is be a Danganronpa fan. I say, having also, unfortunately, been a Danganronpa fan.
You never bother me. If you brought it to our place, would have been able to catch it.
Lesson learned, I guess.
So Millie is very obviously avoiding her dad right now. No other way of putting it. Millie looks over to me, smiling. She waves me over to join in the conversation. I shake my head no, but her dad locks eyes with me expectantly. She's already introducing me before I stand up straight.
Dad, this is Olive. They're the student I was tutoring last semester. Olive, this is my dad.
Millie, you have already become best friends with my mom.
Mike's fine. Nice to meet you, Olive.
Mike.
Hey, nice to meet you too.
I give Millie a wary glance. The person whose marriage is causing the entire feud between her and Caprice. I had expected someone tougher to deal with. Instead, he extends a warm handshake. He seems nice. His hands are large and rough, and he has a slight smile like a man who's just as awkward at meeting new people as I am.
Well, ready to get going, Millie?
He's just a guy. He's just a dude. He's just...
Sure. Want me to drop you off at home or the shop?
Actually,
Oh, no. Oh. Did not come alone. The bell chimes again. Gingerly stepping away from the two in the middle of the aisle, I go to greet the new customer, but she immediately gives me a polite nod and heads over to meet them too. So, in case you're not familiar with this, with what's going on right now, so the two main leads in this game, Millie and Caprice, live together. They were best friends coming up through high school into college, and lately they've been on the rocks. Friendship is heavily on the rocks. They are very much feuding. Yep. And we've just found out here in Act 2 why that is. The fact is that Millie and Caprice's parents are getting married, and Millie is not taking it well, and Caprice is trying to press the issue too much, and it's causing tension between the two friends, and things are really awkward between them. So, we have met Millie's dad, and this appears to be Caprice's mom. She is quite cute, indeed.
Mike, I had to park around the corner. You know it says customers only, right?
Oh no, she's really sweet.
Charlie, I thought we'd order some food for dinner while we're here.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'll ask Caprice what she'd like.
Oh no. The woman called Charlie gives Millie a warm smile while she tucks a strand of hair behind her ear.
Hey, Millie. We missed you at brunch. How are you doing?
Oh, hey, Miss Shifton.
So that's, Millie shrugs on her coat, ending the conversation from earlier without asking more. Charlie glances at Mike with an unspoken question. He awkwardly looks around and grabs a menu off one of the tables.
Actually, Caprice is over at our place right now. We're just going over the date, and we're thinking of moving it back a weekend.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit,
I thought we could all eat dinner together. Wanna drop Junebug off at the apartment and carpool in the truck?
I don't think she wants to. Yep. The air in the diner feels instantly colder. Even the couple customers up front have lowered their voices, trying not to bother the standoff happening in the middle of the aisle.
I already ate, so I'm gonna head back and get some rest. It's been a long day.
No, of course. It really was nice seeing you.
Are you sure? If you'd like to take Junebug instead.
And she's gone. The two talk at the same time, but Millie graciously sidesteps them, both of them, and swings open the door. He stops only to glance back at me and give me a wave.
See you later, Olive.
Good night.
She disappears down the steps and into her waiting car, apologizing as the family waiting to enter the diner stand aside for her. Charlie and Mike speak to each other in a hushed tone after moving to the side of the car so my mom can see the family coming in. I get back to my work, but not long after, Mom approaches the window. So, Ollie, what's going on? Even the customers were looking at this awkwardly. Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, you see the crowd gathering, and you're just like, something's going on here, better simmer down, awkwardly look away, quietly eavesdrop, because that's just what ends up inevitably happening in public, unfortunately. I get back to my work, but not long after Mom pushes the window.
Hey, honey, can you start a to-go order? It's for 3.
Oh?
Sure thing.
Mildly eavesdropping. Exactly, Lily. Charlie and Mike sit at the bar stools. Even from here, I hear Mike leaving a voicemail for Millie, asking her to call him back whenever she'd like to chat. Charlie picks out her manicured nails, flakes of paint coming off as she stares outside the window. Regret is written plainly across her face. A shame because they're a cute couple. It's just that it's really a lot for Millie to process right now. Put extra fries into the order of loaded fries, half out of guilt for lying earlier and half hoping it'll ease some of the tensions from tonight. Olive knows what's up. Anyways, that aside, a few days later, back at home. Olive has a bread box. I turn the plate in my hands, examining the overall construction of the meal. It's been a long time since I had a moment to really try something new. With the holidays rolling in, I thought adding a new special to the menu would be a good chance to do so. I'm pretty proud of how it came out. It's a French toast, topped with a festive spiced fruit jam and a slice of bacon. And easy enough to make a big batch overnight. Ooh, spiced fruit. I jot down a few more notes into the memo pad and take a bite. Ugh, too spiced. My phone buzzes on the counter nearby. I wipe my hands clean and put the plate aside. Olive! My caring and wonderful and amazing partner who invited me out to an Uh-oh. Hi, Millie. That is cute. My caring and wonderful and amazing partner who invited me out to an event today. Lol, what's up? Any chance you can come by and give me an alibi? My dad wants me to come help choose a wedding cake. For us? Smooth! Olive! JK, where are you? Tanya's. Okay, give me 30 minutes. See you! I'm not exactly thrilled to see Tanya right now, but with any luck it'll just be a quick hello and goodbye without any fanfare. I clean up the kitchen quickly and shrug on my coat, checking the weather outside. It's pretty cold, but waiting for the trolley would probably take longer than just biking. The other T right here. Looks like circumstance will make the decision for me this time. I head out, grab my bike, and make my way over to Tanya's. The T here.
Congratulations!
Tanya, please, not now. So much for a quick hello and goodbye. Immediately after knocking on the door, Tanya dragged me inside, demanding gossip about our situation.
You know, I always suspected it.
Oh yeah.
My gut never lies.
Tanya is thriving right now.
Even if I think you could do better, Mills.
What? I'm right here.
You're drunk.
Tipsy. Barely buzzed. Doesn't mean I'm blind.
Barely. My eyes wander over to the table in the corner of the room. At least 2 empty beer cans are knocked over, and there's an open pack of cider. Uh-oh, she's breaking open the hard stuff.
Tanya.
She's not wrong. I got very lucky.
Part of me feels bad for how thick I'm laying it on, but hey, it helps sell the story. It's also the fact that it comes surprisingly naturally. All of us enjoying being in love.
See? They passed the test. Second one of the year, and way more important than that other one.
Another one?
You mean my finals? More important than getting through college?
Yep.
But hard to argue with that.
Are you good to drive, Millie?
I haven't been drinking.
Of course she is. Love has made her such a square, she won't even split a wine with me. Here I am celebrating her first date ever, all alone.
So there was wine, too.
First date? We've had several already.
Olive, no we haven't. I mean, we have? I
No need to be embarrassed. Like I said, I knew it from the start. I won't hold a grudge that you were trying to keep your new hotness a secret.
Whoa.
Please never say that again.
I can only imagine. All those times in the writing club, staying behind just to steal a kiss from each other.
Splitting a wine?
God, what a couple of romantics.
A bottle of wine, probably.
Tanya, please.
God, I hope Tanya does not spill anything awkward about the writing club right now. I close my eyes and try to will myself to not to react to any of Tanya's teasing. Millie herself slightly shifts in her seat. That's the last thing I need right now. Sorry in advance, Millie.
Well, we should head out. Don't want to miss a reservation.
Suddenly, Tanya narrows her eyes, gesturing toward me with a bottle of cider.
Reservation? I thought it was all romantic and spontaneous.
The new old hotness, yes. Millie stutters to try and get an explanation in, but I wave my hand.
I wanted to take her somewhere nice, so I called around earlier. I didn't tell her until I had a place lined up.
Look at you, Olive. Look at you getting all smooth. I turn to Millie, taking her hand and helping her up. Even if this is just an excuse to get her out of Tanya's apartment.
Surprise.
Takes a second to react, but when she does, her face relaxes and she nods. Stands next to me and we shrug our coats back on, successfully about to escape. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, what?
Hey, I'm here.
Haley? Haley calls out as she opens the unlocked door and peeks her head in. At least she knocked.
Haley? What are you doing here?
I'm here to pick you up. Tanya texted me.
What? She looks around Millie's shoulder to Tanya, who's laying with her feet up on the table.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, I sent that earlier because I thought we'd be partying and you'd need a lift.
Yep. I brought some energy drinks so you could sober up for that wedding thing late.
Oh my gosh, yeah, okay. Thank you, Haley. Great to see you, actually. I'm fine, so let's go outside. Bye, Tanya.
Millie flies out the door, towing me by the hand and giving an uncharacteristically chipper wave before closing it behind her. Tanya yells out a goodbye as we go. Tanya, please. So hey, Haley, I think we owe you an explanation because you're cool. Tanya, I have very strong reservations about quiet in the hallway. Haley gives us a blank stare, the bag of cans she's carrying clicking together as she angles her body towards us.
Hey, Olive.
Hey, Haley.
So,
Hi! We really need to get going now, so...
Yeah, don't want to be late.
turns toward me, her expression unchanged. Something about how she stares directly at me makes me break eye contact.
Where are you headed?
Just, out.
There's a taxi out front if you need a lift. We can swing by your place.
Actually, I'm going out with Millie today.
Since when?
Oh? She doesn't miss a beat. It's harder than I expected to keep a conversation going like this, especially with how sharp she is. More so when she provides no feedback at all if she's convinced.
They just invited me out a bit ago. It was a surprise.
Big surprise.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Loud trill honk comes from outside. Haley doesn't flinch so much as she just glances at her phone briefly.
So you're not going out with Caprice and them?
No, sorry. Like I said, Olive actually arranged a date for...
You should tell them then.
Oh, no.
She's waiting for you.
Oh, God.
What, really? She's going to be late.
Yep. Anyway, if you don't need the ride, I'm gonna head home. See ya.
This is quickly spiraling out of control. She gives me one last long look, broken by the impatient taxi driver outside laying on their horn again. Haley doesn't wait for us to leave, walking out the way without another word. Only when we hear the car outside take off do we both relax.
That felt bad.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Sorry. Are you having second thoughts?
That was a lot all at once, and Tanya is not helping.
No, I didn't think she'd wait for me.
Caprice is honestly trying, but she's not great at it. If that makes sense.
Grace?
Yeah, she was really excited to go out today. I told her I wasn't sure if I would have plans, and I figured once it got late enough, she'd just head out. Guess that's on me, though. She'd stop at nothing to try and make me participate.
There isn't any hint of bitterness or anger in her voice. In fact, Millie is smiling as she taps away at a message to Caprice.
Well, if you want to cancel a reservation, I won't stop you.
And make you come all the way out here for nothing? I appreciate the offer, but I'm not ready to just pretend it's all fine just yet.
Understandable. She sends off the message and pockets her phone, looking back up at me with bright eyes.
So, where's our super romantic getaway?
I have some grocery shopping to do.
Sounds perfect.
Oh. Hey. And hey. Romantic lunch/dinner? To, take the nerves off. Oh. 3 weeks later. I suppose we'll see how well this is going. The page for next semester's classes is daunting, to say the least. Considering the circumstances, I didn't have the heart to plan out my next batch of classes. After all, the last thing I wanted was to get my hopes up. All the same, just like every semester, the sheer breadth and variety of the classes makes it hard to focus on any one.
Wait, business management? You took a business management course? Were you a business major? How did I not know this?
I met her, incredulous disgust with a snort of amusement.
I wasn't not a business major. What did you think I was studying?
I don't know. Culinary arts, maybe? Botany? Anything
Botany?
but business.
Does our college offer a botany major?
Well,
I do like to see Olive smiling more.
Does it, Millie?
Yeah.
all right. Enjoy your capitalist nightmare.
Believe me, after the hell that last semester put me through, I think I'll take it as a sign to switch things up. I was just trying to find a major with steady job opportunities. Gotta stack the deck in my favor somehow with all the debt hanging over my head. We can't all be artists.
What makes you think I don't have debt?
Sorry. Everything about you says
Oh.
scholarship or maybe high school valedictorian.
I mean, that gets a laugh out of her. I'd honestly be surprised if she didn't have a full ride to university after this, but it's probably rude to ask.
Caprice actually got valedictorian.
Oh. Huh? Really? Intrusive Caprice. Really?
But I still got salutatorian. We were neck and neck our entire high school career, but the amount of extra credit she got through club activities pushed her over first place in the end. I spent all my extra time studying just to keep up with her.
Well. With a flourish, Millie stretches and takes another sip of her coffee, finishing it off. The smell of hazelnut has overtaken our whole booth with the amount of flavored creamer she used. She turns the computer back towards her and gives it one more scroll through, counting the amount of credits I've selected. It's mostly Gen Ed, with one pastry class mixed in, thanks to Millie's recommendation of finding one class to get excited for. Pastry
Just a major
class!
aside, I think this is a much more sustainable selection than you had last semester.
Olive looks so disgruntled. Yes, honestly.
It's no wonder everything came crashing down at the end. You have to account for time to rest in your schedule, too.
I decided to refrain from telling her the free time will likely be used to pick up extra shifts here. Mom's been pulling double shifts for far too often for my comfort.
I'll try. Thanks for looking it over with me.
She does have that Don Quixote energy, yes. Oh. The bell chimes. Looks like break's over. Standing up, I put on a courteous smile and go to greet, It's Caprice! Oh shit. Hello. Caprice bounds in with a characteristic wave like she's coming into a friend's house instead of a restaurant. She looks around with bright eyes, catching Millie's glance and giving her a big wave too.
Oh, are you two on a date? Excuse the interruption.
Her ears were burning.
Millie was just helping me with my schedule for next semester.
To take all the same classes and pass love notes during the teacher's lectures? How shameless.
Where are you getting these ideas?
That does remind me. I never did properly congratulate you for passing your finals. So, congratulations!
Yay! There goes confetti. If she could make confetti fly around with just enthusiasm and volume, the entire trolley car would be full of it.
Thanks. It's really all thanks to Millie. She's a great teacher.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
She stands up straight, like she just remembered why she's here, and immediately pulls out a sketchbook. On the side, next to a page full of doodles of various objects I recognize from around town, is a neat row of writing.
Can I get some drinks to go? We would have gone to the vending machine down the way, but it's broken.
Did she project that laughing vision into Olive's consciousness from the car park? It's the work of her stand.
Sure thing.
She follows me over to the order window and lists off everyone's individual drink, each with special instructions like extra ice and it's probably a joke, but she asked if you could put a shot of bourbon in it too. Oh. After she pays, I slide back the change and immediately get to work on the order. The other drinks don't take too long, but someone, Allison, ordered a fancy latte. I prepare the cup with equal parts chocolate and caramel. Caprice sits at the bar stool, swinging her legs.
We're doing Pomodoro practice around town. Have you ever heard of it?
Pomodoro. Your special place? I bet it was. Yeah.
Yes, we actually do it in the writing club pretty often.
Oh?
What's it called again?
Caprice giggles a bit, and Millie rolls her eyes. Hopefully in good humor.
We usually call it the Pomodoro timer. It's when you set a solid amount of time aside and write as much as you can before the timer runs out.
Oh.
It's a good technique for just getting words written in a first draft, even if they need to be edited later.
Or to get sketches down on a page.
Exactly.
So they got that in common. They share a smile together, obviously sharing in the excitement of practicing their craft. Oh, look at the flowers going. It's kind of refreshing to see. Think back to when Haley visited my apartment long ago, and the picture she showed me of Millie and Caprice at a party together. 25 minutes of intense focus. Yeah. Seeing them like this makes sense. Like it's always supposed to have been this way. That said, something clicks in the back of my head hearing all this talk about practicing and timers, especially given the weather outside.
Wait, you're out with the art club? I thought the campus was closed for winter.
It is.
It is.
She unlocks her phone with one smooth motion and swipes through countless open apps before landing on the calendar. She holds up to the window, and while I can't really make out what anything says, especially with trying to foam the milk for the drink, looks pretty filled up with multicolor events.
Rain, sleet, snow, or hail, the arts club draws.
Doesn't have quite the energy we're going for, but still. Confidence to start a rhyme without knowing how to finish it is admirable.
The art club draws without fail?
Oh, yes! Good one!
Still. Saying that, Caprice pockets her phone and thumbs the pages of her sketchbook, humming a little to herself.
Really, it's more of a get-together between friends. Melissa and Eileen didn't even bring their sketchbooks.
Fair enough.
It's really nice to have a reason to see each other, so we keep it up even during breaks.
Millie, this is probably going to suffer a little bit with the state of Millie's writing club. Seems about right. The little I've interacted with the group as a whole, it seemed like team building and lifting each other up was the main focus of the club over any creative endeavor. But a generous helping of whipped cream on top immediately ruined it by putting on the lid, packing all 4 drinks into the carry container.
Here you go.
Thank you.
She stands up to grab the drinks, but hesitates at the last moment, her hands hovering the tray.
Actually, have you thought about joining the art club?
Right, not now.
Huh?
Oh no. From over Caprice's shoulder, I see Millie look up from the table. I can't make out what kind of expression she has. Caprice's face comes back into my view as she leans over to get my full attention.
It's a bunch of fun. We go out on field trips, help each other study, and just have a good time.
Why are you recruiting me now?
Caprice.
Millie tenses her fingers together carefully, like she's working out a good way to continue. Caprice doesn't wait for her to figure it out, though, turning around with a bright smile.
Oh, there's more than enough room for you too, Millie. I wouldn't dream of separating you two lovebirds.
No.
We're fine, Caprice. neither of us need your pity.
Huh? What? Olive passed their classes, so it's not like they need the tutoring anymore, right? Even then, they can just study with everyone in the art club instead.
What if they like the writing club?
Oh, come on, Millie. You don't even like the writing club.
Oh no.
Stop trying to read my mind and fix things that aren't a problem.
I'm not. I'm just trying to be nice. Did you forget what that looks like?
And it all comes crumbling down.
If wedging yourself in your club in the middle of everything is being nice, I'd really like to know what you think being insulting is.
Tumbling down, tumbling down.
Why are you always picking a fight with me? It's like everything I say just sets you off.
Why don't you try talking
no.
less?
Okay, hey, maybe we should take a minute.
Whatever, I'm out of here.
Caprice takes the train, her carrot making sure not to spill, carefully balanced by her storming off. The final huff, she looks up at me.
Just think about it, Olive. Sometimes Millie doesn't know a bad situation if it bit her in the...
Are you leaving or not?
Caprice closes her eyes tightly, shaking her head and refusing to respond to her. With a careful glance toward Millie, I try to keep a level, non-argumentative tone.
Thanks for the offer, Caprice. I think I'll stick with Millie in the writing club, though.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, she seems surprised too. Shoot Millie a glance to try and communicate a you really shouldn't be the one asking that expression. Somehow she pulls her shoulders back in a more confident look. Something I didn't realize she had lost throughout this argument until now.
That's that then.
All right. Offer still open anyway.
Turns and looks at Millie. Any anger she had before is replaced with another attempt at a friendliness. Her voice soft.
For both of you.
With that, she leaves Millie and I behind. The air in the Bell House feels several degrees colder with her gone. All the heightened emotions drained now. Millie avoids my eye contact for a bit, her brows knit together and her hands fidgeting nonstop. That expression really does look just nervous. Oh. 10 minutes pass before she stands and brings her empty mug to the counter.
Can I get a refill?
Sure.
For you? Always. Another smile.
Were you only saying that thing about the writing club because you're my pretend partner?
Nah. If I was, though, I'd be pretend partner of the year.
Another laugh. Bit by bit, the atmosphere in the diner changes to one of relaxed separation. To get to work for the oncoming dinner rush, Millie reads out a few more class options in case I want to swap one out. Afternoon becomes dusk, and customers begin pouring in, and Millie heads home. When I look at my computer again, I can see a poorly typed out cat with a thumbs up emote next to it. Oh! Good luck next semester. Remember, hang in there. A few days later. Oh, it's Christmas time. The smell of pretzels and hot coffee fills the air as the crowd moves back and forth through the plaza. The food stalls set up at the other end of the street cast golden light on the while the holiday tree in the center provides the centerpiece for the festivities. I usually pass by on my way to work, but for once I'm milling about, trying to find a quiet area to wait. I check my messages to make sure I got the place right. Oh? Don't recognize the... Oh, it's Haley! It's Haley! I didn't recognize the chat icon there for a moment. Hey, you busy? Kinda. At work. Why? We need to talk. Time to get off. 6, what's up? Alright, meet me at the plaza after your shift. I sigh. If it weren't for the fact I was just getting out of work anyway, I'd probably have rescheduled for another day. I pull my coat around myself a little and bury my face into my scarf. Heat from the food stalls is helping against the bitter cold, but all the same, I'd really like to get home soon. Are you coming? I'm already here. Right behind your chat window. Yep, jump scared. I saw you sneaking under the chat window, Haley. Nearly jump out of my skin as Haley pops in behind me. She pockets her phone as she approaches and tosses out an empty cup into the nearby trash can.
Jeez. Please stop sneaking up on me.
Pay more attention to your surroundings.
I decide not to point out the obvious contradiction, considering she never goes more than 10 steps without drowning out the world with music.
I'll try.
Hey, it's to each her own.
So, what's going on? I don't usually respond to cryptic messages asking to meet up.
I won't lead you to any secondary locations. Relax.
It'd be easier to if I knew what you wanted to talk about.
Oh, that. It's about Christmas.
Oh? Question mark? She pauses, like I'm supposed to grasp some sort of meaning from that. Return her look of blank confusion, earning a long sigh in response.
Millie hosts Christmas at her house. Every single year for over 20 years, her and Caprice's families celebrate together.
Oh.
So, about Millie and you.
Oh. Haley closes her eyes for a long, thoughtful moment. I wait for her to continue, but I'm not sure it's coming.
About us?
She opens her eyes, but avoids my gaze.
You can drop the act. I'm not gonna tell the others about your fake relationship dating whatever you have going on.
Her voice stays completely level. She doesn't even raise her eyebrows or look particularly concerned. As for me, I feel my heart drop to the pit of my stomach. In a way, it was expected. Being caught in a lie, regardless of intention, weighs on my shoulders.
You knew?
She's all right through it.
Obviously.
Man, sure, I thought we were doing a pretty good job of it.
Sorta.
Sorta? She shrugs, like that's explanation enough.
Anyway, that's not the point. Not entirely.
Not entirely?
I think I get it. You swoop in and save Millie from her overbearing best friend and clueless family, and she gets to avoid her problems.
Huh?
I get where you might be coming from.
All I'm asking is you don't mess up this Christmas thing. It's not supposed to be any of my business, but Caprice has been working really hard on this. She's trying to fix things. If Millie keeps running away, nothing will improve.
That's a good point. The sense of guilt and shame fades away with every sentence, replaced with something else. Keyword being trying. Yeah. There's a point where you push too hard and you end up pushing the other person away. And I think that's where Caprice is at right now. So there's... Obviously... It's going to take a lot for Millie to come around and come back to the unit. It's going to take some give on Caprice's side, too. The sense of guilt and shame fades away with every sentence, replaced with something else. Something stronger that pounds in my chest.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Ooh.
Huh?
Did you really call me out here to help protect Caprice?
Ooh.
To defend this whole marriage thing?
She meets my gaze. Once again, there isn't a hint of malice or anger. Instead, I'm almost taken aback by how calmly she regards me, even as I feel myself getting worked up. I take a deep breath. Whatever Haley's reasoning, she's listening. She's not trying to meddle for the sake of it, and she's just as much a friend to Millie as she is Caprice. She's not trying to take sides.
I know you're trying to look out for them. You have to trust Millie too. She knows what she's doing.
Does she?
It's not a challenge. It's not judgment. Haley looks to me for assurance.
Yeah. She's not running away to avoid her problems. She's trying to work through things in her own way. And no one is letting her.
Haley does have a point, but at what point is it one person's Millie running away is another person's Millie feeling smothered and being pushed away. No one is letting her. Haley has a good point. But so does Olive here. No one is letting her work through it. They're trying to force it and act like everything's okay, and it's not, and that is really pushing Millie away.
Even you being here is proof of everything going on.
Haley nods patiently. Wonder how many times Millie's had to have this conversation for her own sake. Something she's mentioned before, the constant asking to move on, the push to just try, the request to put up with things that are overwhelming in her own right. It's no wonder she asked me to be there for her. Fake partner or not, I might be the only person who isn't asking her to change how she feels.
Millie needs someone on her side. I want to be that person. If she needs somewhere to go or someone to turn to during Christmas, I'm going to be there. I'm not going to ask her to go back or make up or try to make things work. I can't. I just want to help her get space to work things out on her own.
Yeah, makes sense.
The response is so simple. My gut reaction is telling me she doesn't really believe me. In reality, though, Haley smiles.
You're right. Or she's right. Whatever.
She puts her hands in her pockets after that simple statement. Every part of me wants to ask more, if she's being honest or not, how she's feeling, but I don't think Haley would respond either way.
I should apologize to her.
It's not your fault. None of this is anyone's fault.
Very true.
It's just that Millie's really been on her own lately. What you're asking me to do is...
A betrayal? Unthinkable?
Nah, I get it. I hope you're doing the right thing.
I hope so too.
Well, things will probably work out then. Like you said, it's not anyone's fault. Everyone's doing their best. And it looks like things aren't as fake as I thought.
Oh, she puts on her headphones. Conversation over. Point made. A blush would rise to my face if I wasn't still coming down from the earlier defensiveness.
See you.
Millie and Caprice's relationship reminds me of the two leads in a webtoon called Let's Play. Oh, that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah. See you.
Respond to her as she's already leaving. Music playing from her headphones, just loud enough to hear as she walks past. The plaza is getting busier by the moment. I feel myself getting a little lost in the crowd as I try to edge my way back out, back to the streets to get home. As I break through the noise, my phone rings. Now familiar icon front and center. Ooh,
Hey, Millie.
just in time.
Olive, hey! I didn't catch you at a bad time, did I?
Is this about Christmas?
Nah. What's up?
Well, it's about Christmas.
Yeah, it's about Christmas. Deja vu. Millie speaks quietly into the phone as I make my way home through the already dark streets, her voice keeping me company. She talks about how big of a tradition Christmas is, how Caprice and her mom will be there, and how it's usually the highlight of the year. And if I just heard it all from Haley, it would feel rude to interrupt. By the time I get home, she drops the question.
So, I know it's a big ask. Do you have any holiday plans?
I wonder if it's in some way, shape, or form we go
I don't. No.
with her.
My mom and I will be celebrating a bit early this year, so I'll be free.
A standard by this point. It's really hard to turn down the double holiday pay, so we're used to celebrating earlier, either a few days early or late. Oh, that working mood. Oh gosh. It's quiet for a few moments. The only sign that Millie's still there is a faint shuffling on the other end.
You're gonna make me ask it outright, huh?
I smiled to myself.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'll be your +1.
She heaves a giant sigh of relief into the receiver, crackling through into my phone's poor speaker. My apartment is cold. Crank the heat on all the way, knowing full well it'll probably take at least a couple of hours before it warms up.
So, see you soon?
See you.
Oh. In the cold of my living room, I start mulling over Christmas gifts. Anything's a better distraction than thinking too much about the conversation with Haley. Fake relationship or not, I care about Millie, and the extent that I do is starting to feel undeniably real. I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to stomp down any hopes that she feels the same too. Oh no. No, I think she does. I 3 weeks later, I have a feeling. It is more real than you think. Woke up expecting a text from Millie, telling me she was waiting to pick me up outside. Got half of it right, at least. Rather than enjoying the morning in the passenger seat of a heater-equipped car, I'm spending it riding my bike down a city street I'm largely unfamiliar with. Duffel bag across my shoulder, making this more uncomfortable than normal. I read over a text again every few minutes to reconfirm the address, the rest of the message being entirely foreign to me. Idling rough. What does that even mean? Something about spark plugs? I don't know. Eventually, I find a set of numbers that match up, and the exterior at least looks enough like a machinist's shop. More than eager to escape from the cold, I dismount my bike and step inside. Oh, hey, we've checked in on Junebug. Well, if there's any doubt I was in the right place, the little red card front and center quickly dispels it. At least spots me before I see her, ducking out from behind the car to greet me.
Hey there! Sorry for making you meet me out here like this.
Oh, you know, this
No
happens.
problem. It's not too bad out there right now. Junebug doing okay?
Caprice reminds me of Marshall from the webtoon because they mean well, but they say and do things that negatively affect the other party. They're a little too forward, saying things without thinking, pushing issues. I can see where that comes from then. I shove my hands deep in my coat pockets, lest my shivering give that fib away. Millie beams at me before briefly turning her gaze to the car.
She's just fine. Just being proactive to prevent another incident before it happens. You read my text, right?
Eh? Respond with an ignorant frown. Millie's unsure of how to read it at first, but she eventually replies with a small giggle. Audible movement from the back snaps her out of her smile, turning again to me with an almost apologetic expression.
Oh, right. I should probably warn you.
Of the man on the other side of the office window, rushing out to meet us the second we managed to make eye contact, I assume.
Hey, Mills. This your +1, I assume?
Uh-oh. A deep sigh from his daughter, before a forced smile and a small nod. His own grin is much more sincere in comparison.
Glad to finally put a face to the... Wait. I know you, don't I?
Takes a step forward, which makes me instinctively take a step back to maintain the distance. Nevertheless, he leans in, giving me a quick once-over.
Olive, right? From Bellhop?
Got it half right, at least.
Bell House. But yeah, that's me. Good to see you again.
He, on the other hand, seems fully confident in his feelings, putting himself upright again with a boastful smile.
Thought so. To think I was shaking your hand a few weeks ago. None the wiser.
Mike gently taps Millie's arm with his elbow, an act which causes her to grimace.
You and your twist endings, huh? Ever the writer.
Because an even stronger reaction out of her as she buries her face into her hands. Oh gosh. Not entirely immune to his daughter's suffering, his smile softens a little and his posture mellows. Still, overall, his demeanor now compared to the Bell House last time is completely different. Not sure if it's due to being in his home turf, of the shop, or the fact he was expecting me.
Let me borrow your keys. Just gonna give her one last checkup real quick. Won't be more than a few seconds.
Millie obliges, wordlessly shoving her keyring into his hand. His expression doesn't falter as he turns to the car, humming a small tune to himself as he opens the driver's side door. In stark contrast, Millie continues to stew in her flustered frustration.
You're so dramatic. You should feel lucky to have such a doting dad.
As if you don't have a doting mom, Molly. If looks could kill, I'd be dead 10 times over. The car starting to life is enough to finally pull Millie back into a normal standing position. After a few moments, Mike emerges from the car, poking his head over the roof.
Sounds good to me. How about you?
Perfect. I owe you one.
Well, if you're offering.
Oh. Cuts the engine and closes the door, tossing Millie her keys as he makes his way over to us again.
Come on down and visit more often, okay? The house and the garage have both felt emptier without you lately.
Millie hesitates to respond, instead playing with the keys in her hand. This is the first time all morning I've seen Meg's smile dampen.
Things have been busy. Between finals and my relationship.
Makes it
Sorry, I'll try and be better about it.
Makes it feel like she might actually be using this relationship to, escape from her problems.
Yeah, I know. I don't blame you or anything. I just swear I could still see little 7-year-old Millie around out of the corner of my eye sometimes.
It's a bit too early for my phantom to be haunting you.
He laughs through his nose.
Guess I might have a problem then. He's all over the place nowadays. Out front playing in the snow, excitedly bouncing in place whenever a customer brings a red car in.
Uh-oh.
Playing pinball with Caprice on the old work computer whenever Charlie needed a sitter.
Uh-oh.
You switched tenses.
Ever the writer. He sighs, setting his smile back in place afterwards.
Guess I did. Am doing?
A deer. As you do. As you do.
Very funny.
She rolls her eyes, but she's finally matching her dad's smile. Hey. No one says anything for a couple seconds in a moment that's equal parts serene and awkward.
So, what's the plan? Are we just gonna meet up at your place this evening?
Mike jumps to attention at my question, giving it serious thought once it actually registers. He tilts his head back and forth a few times before an answer seems to fall out of his brain. Digs into his pocket for another key, passing it to Millie. Another what?
You can go on ahead if you want. I've got some business to take care of here. And I was planning to do a grocery run on the way home.
Are you sure? I don't mind killing time around town if you wanted to head back together.
Nah, no sense suffering out in the cold on my account.
Millie responds with an understanding nod. Satisfied with that, Mike turns his attention toward me instead.
The guest room's a bit of a mess right now.
Oh?
I hate to ask, but are you gonna be good with the couch?
Oh?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Good to hear. I'll pile up a bunch of extra pillows and blankets for you at least.
Coming back from 7 Mysteries of Honto, it's great to see decent father figures here. He's trying. He's trying, at least. Kicking the door to check and see if we've had any worrying updates about our club leader's life. Oh boy, have we, Rev. So, we're on winter break right now. To catch you up quick, we're on winter break right now. We found out what the tea is between Caprice and Millie. First of all, here is Millie's dad. And Millie's dad... Yeah, Millie's dad is getting married to Caprice's mom. And that's the source of the agony that Millie is in right now. All with the Riz meeting the parents? Yeah, we We have had our first kiss. All have passed their finals. And now we're kind of working through we have become inadvertently Millie's quote unquote fake +1 relationship partner. Quote unquote relationship partner of Millie's, which is both fake and not quite as fake as we might believe. The relationship is it is fake and very real. Gives a small thumbs up, signaling the end of the conversation. Or so I think, before realization crosses his face and he turns to Millie again.
Oh yeah. Mo's probably hungry by now. Make sure his bowl is topped up, would you?
Mo?
Probably hungry at this hour?
His ever-present confidence finally breaks as he delivers a nervous laugh.
Dad.
Love you. You two have fun. Make sure you give him the grand tour, Mills.
Whee! And he's gone before I have time to blink. All Millie can muster is a frustrated sigh. Well, here we go. To the family home. Leisurely drive out of the city and into the suburbs was, as ever with Millie, a calm experience. I think I'm starting to enjoy our trips in her little car. Little Junebug. She pulls the handbrake up, I get out and retrieve the luggage while she fusses about in the driver's seat. Popping the trunk open, I drag out my modest duffel bag and swing it over my shoulder before hauling out Millie's suitcase too.
Oh.
Millie rushes out of the car to assist me, arriving just before the weight of her luggage can tip me over.
Sorry, I should have packed more economically.
Ooh. Ooh. She grabs me by the arm and lugs both me and her suitcase off the road into the front yard.
I'm such a mess right now.
Understandable, girl.
Stressed?
No, I'm fine. There's just
She clasps her hands together, as if to dissipate her frazzled energy.
so much family to think about. You know, full house and all.
There's the cloud that's been hanging over this entire holiday. The morning's diversion did an okay job of distracting me from it in the moment, but I had to come back around sooner or later. Millie's slumped shoulders and heavy sigh agreed with me. At least being out here alone for a day will give us both some breathing space. Eager to focus on literally anything else, my gaze turns toward my home for the next few days. I guess Millie's dad managed to stay in an alright area at the cost of his commute. Compared to the houses on either side, all that's to be seen regarding this season is a Christmas tree visible through the open window. A simple string of lights. Still, something about the simplicity is charming. Given how far out of town this is, it makes sense to bunk with Billy for a couple of nights rather than have her drive in and out to pick me up each day. What's even more charming, however, is the allure of getting inside and out of the cold. I turn back to Millie, who is managing her luggage.
I can take that for you.
You say, I adore the expressions in this game, and also just Millie's nervous expression there.
No, you can't. I just watched you try.
You got some guns, but not enough. She picks up both my duffel bag and her suitcase like it's nothing, smiling sweetly as she passes me on her way to the front door.
The effort is appreciated, though.
Oh, okay then. Millie places my bag down to fetch the keys from her coat. I grab at my bag while she opens the door, determined to at the very least carry my own weight. Well, it's charming. We finally step inside, and I do my part by, closing the door behind us. Millie sets her luggage down as gently as she's able before briefly turning to me to make sure I'm managing okay. Meow! Cat! Millie's expression, usually relaxed and warm, shoots up as her smile widens tenfold in a way that I've only seen when talking shop or writing. Look at him! He's so fat! She spins around quickly to meet the source of the sound. It'd be best described as a sentient orb with cat ears waddles out of the kitchen area. boy. Chonky. Bode. Oh lord, he coming. Their eyes meet, and Millie bends down and scoops him up as he approaches, struggling more with him than the baggage she was hauling around moments ago.
Oh, I missed you, buddy. Jeez, Dad hasn't even been trying to make you follow that diet, huh?
Millie's chonky boy.
Hey, you gonna introduce me?
Millie turns to me, cat still cradled in her arms. Cat orb, corb.
Olive, meet Mr. Mo. There's a cat under all that flab somewhere, I promise.
I didn't even know Garfield's pops made an appearance here. Oh god. He says, freeing one of her hands momentarily to affectionately pat his head.
I wanted to bring him with me when Caprice and I moved out for college, but our apartment doesn't allow pets. Looks like Dad's been spoiling him silly while I've been gone.
Sage, look at it.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Mo.
I can't believe he's most acted. Beautiful. Legendary. Bode. Millie sets him down gently and begins to fuss in her arms. He approaches me, giving my legs a couple quick sniffs before sauntering away to the couch.
He likes you.
He approves. I can't imagine how she managed to gather that from our interaction. Can't wait for Mr. Mo to talk English and then he's voiced by Chris Pratt too. Walks up. Meow. Hello, Olive.
Anyway, let's start getting settled in. Do you want to store your things in my room for now?
Oh. My eyes move around as I gingerly finish a quick lurch of sandwiches. A quick lunch of sandwiches in the living room, Millie returning after depositing her finished glass and plate in the kitchen. The noise of the radio, occasionally more static than voice, drowns on with the weather report for the day. While the usual bits and pieces collected during a live sit here and there, the place is generally a lot cleaner than I'd expected. From what Haley told me, I would have figured the place to be decked out with festive cheer and lights. Instead, it looks a lot more like what my mom and I would put up. A little tree in the corner, a small reminder of the season without much fanfare. So it's less like the season and more the family get together. That's the big significance of the tradition. Quick lunge of sandwiches, hey. Millie herself looks a bit disappointed.
Sorry, there's not much decoration. We're usually more on top of things.
Oh, so it is more of a...
I don't mind either way. I think it's cozy.
I guess that's a word for it.
She shrugs and puts a few presents under the tree, stacking them neatly together. When she stands, she looks out the front window with a smile.
The weather looks like it'll be good today.
You want to explore outside a bit?
Dad told me to give you the grand tour, remember?
Oh,
Grab your coat.
Sounds like a plan.
yes ma'am. Let's go. Meet the Millie neighborhood experience. Trudging through the snow, I quietly follow Millie's lead as we walk. The expedition is a welcome distraction from the morning's events for her. Now that I have a better lay of the land, I can see that the Clark house is right on the outskirts of the suburb itself. Having struck outwards from the houses behind us, we now walk along the winding train tracks. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the weather report ended up being wrong. While the snowfall isn't bad enough to turn back, the two of us not being that far from the house anyways, it's difficult to see far. It feels all that much more alone out here.
So where are we headed?
Just to the bridge, the one we drove over on the way here.
Gotta love red sweater weather.
Guess I used to come here often.
Gotta love red sweater weather, exactly. I love Olive's jacket, I'm not gonna lie. That's the perfect kind of comf. And cushy, thick, warm, comfy. That's my vibe here. She gives a nod.
We'd walk out here on the way to the convenience store sometimes. Not many other places to go around here without driving into the city. Most of the time, it was more of a matter of me bringing Mom out while Dad was at work during the day.
Comf and circumstance. Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't actually know the story of,
This is a bit of a shot in the dark, but did you ever have a train set or something similar growing up?
train set?
Kind of. These tracks making you nostalgic?
Maybe a little. It's just something small that sprang to mind.
God, I used to love the old Thomas the Tank Engine train set, train tracks. Used to have a room where we'd set up tracks and stuff. Way back when. Just a small nod to the side, guiding my gaze to the train tracks on either side of the railing.
Dad had one he kept around. He actually left a few tracks and cars behind when he left.
Ah.
I was never allowed to play with it before then, but it was fun when I could. It's probably still in an old cardboard box somewhere at my mom's.
Sorry. Sounds like it was more of a collection than a toy for you.
I think so. Yeah.
For me, I just like to watch them go by.
Oh? I'm about to ask what she means, if she had an electric set or something, but the sound behind me interrupts me before I can start. Oh shit. A pair of bright yellow lights shine through the falling snow, a foghorn reverberating through the air as the freight train approaches, looming through the white fog ahead.
Welcome to my childhood train set.
Oh, that's cool. As the bridge beneath us begins to shake, I find my grip on the railing tightening. Millie, on the other hand, is practically leaning over it entirely. I'd never really appreciated just how giant they actually are until being this close to what that's moving. I'm winded as the machine rumbles by, the clattering of the rails and carriages filling my ears. Millie looks on with an expression of childlike excitement. I'm sure no different to the face she'd had at the same scene 10 more years past. Can't help but smile at the earnest sense of wonder she's managed to keep a hold of into adulthood. Carriage after carriage passes us, Millie's eyes never tearing from the sight. This really is a train set for her, though far larger than the one I'd had. After what must be quite a few minutes, it finally passes, leaving the two of us to watch the last of its cargo-laden stock disappear into the snowfall, as we transition to the other side of the bridge. The deafening racket slowly fades into the snowy distance, leaving a pleasant silence.
That was cool.
Wasn't it? You don't get to see stuff like that up close in the city, do you?
Not in a setting like this, that's for sure. She's practically buoyant, raising herself up and down on the balls of her feet as she's filled with renewed energy. We'd love to see that from her. As she settles down, Millie's excitement turns to a warm smile across her face.
Good to know that if we're ever tight on cash, I can just take you train spotting for a day.
She gives me a gentle push, laughing as she does so. Her smile doesn't go away, but it definitely softens not long after. All of you have just been casually throwing lines like this out. I'm fairly certain they mean this sincerely.
I don't think Mom quite understood it. She always humored me when I dragged her out here, though.
Her face grows distant, an odd look of nostalgia and sadness crossing her expression.
You must miss her a lot, huh?
Yeah, I do.
I've never asked before. All this time, every time she's brought up her Mom has been in passing, an anecdote, a fond memory, a small touch. Even if she's passed on, almost every aspect of Millie's life has been touched by her in some way. Millie treasures every moment she shared with her mom, that much is clear. I must feel guilty not asking sooner, seeing her eyes light up with love at the opportunity to share more about her. I will admit that I completely had not even considered this. Even as we've found out more about the tension between Millie and Caprice. With her mom, her memory in mind, it's no wonder that it's taking so much. No wonder that's so hard for Millie to adjust to her dad getting married again, period, let alone to Caprice's mom. And with that probably in mind, it's no wonder that Caprice is actively trying to make this work. She's never fully processed it, and everyone's trying to push forward and, like, smother her with kindness and love, and she's not quite ready for that, and she's pushing away from it. She needs a more gentle approach, I suppose. The rush of... Sure, Caprice and her family and her dad are there for a, Oh yeah, I've always been weird to be in that situation. Yes, indeed. See, I don't know if I struck the trauma library, but that well is well and truly poisoned for me forever. Of divorced parents remarrying. It's not a well I'm inclined to get into, but I rolled a nat 1, and that well was well and truly poisoned for good in terms of divorced parents remarrying. And the one good thing to come from it is that over time, like, my mom and my dad are friendly with each other now. In a weird way, time, like, healed all that. Everything that pushed them apart back in the day. Weird what time can do. I slow my walking, turning toward the lake. Millie stands at my side, exhaling a long breath of fog into the air.
What's she like?
She was gentle. Very quiet, too. Even as a child, I noticed that.
For the record, I'm pretty sure this isn't a case of divorce. This is a case of Millie's mom passing away. It's one thing when it's a whole separate thing that you have no involvement in, but when the new person starts trying to act like the replacement, ooh, yeah. That's when it's super awkward and weird. As long as they're happy, though, I mean, good for them. That's... Yeah. That is indeed the difficult part. And it's...
She loved books, taking walks. She kept a journal, several, actually. I remember her handwriting was so pretty. I would ask her to write my name for me, over and over, so I could practice it.
It sounds like you were pretty similar.
She gives a smile of appreciation at the sentiment, but there's an insincerity to it.
I don't know. I don't think I resemble her very much. If I did, I think I'd be... sorry, I don't mean to be a downer.
Oh. Something shifts in Millie, like she snaps out of her head. Turns to me, giving me the same kind of easygoing grin she would use all the time in the riding club.
Huh? I asked.
We should get moving before it gets too cold.
Quashing down any lingering feelings, Millie doesn't wait for me to agree. She thrusts her hands into her pockets and shakes her head. I want to ask more, or at least give her some space to talk if she'd like to. I have to remember I'm just a friend, not a partner, not involved more than I have to be. As much as I might want to be. What if she feels the need to keep up her act in front of me because of that? Two of us begin the long walk back to her house, me jogging slightly to catch up to her. Neither of us say much, save for some pleasant small talk. I can only hope, probably fruitlessly, that tomorrow is just as calm. That's the power of Twofold Tuesdays. And the next day. This feels like a good point to call it for this Tuesday. Yeah, we get a nice calm start here. Data. Also, just the really precious details here. Yeah, looking at this, I love this detail. It's so adorable. You could click to rename your page here. Millie. I love that. That's precious. The details in this game are just so precious, adorable. I love that. Little icon reacts, and the common route is olive. And we got Millie route. That is adorable. I am once again gushing over that. That's so precious. The details are so good. They're so good. Oh. Once again, this game has my full, complete, and utter heart and joy and love. It is time for us to call Twofold Tuesday to an end. And we will, looks like she's giving us a thumbs. Yeah, it does look like she's giving us a thumbs up. Yeah.